Yeah, we're live. Sending it out on, sharing it out. There'll be no Buster intro on this one. Although, should I? This is a not debate that's set up for the non-Sequitur show. We're live in action now. This is how it is when you go on these I don't know what sort of shows to call it. It's called the non-Sequitur show. I don't know much else other than they've made a thumbnail about me. They say I'm going to be able to be over there and invited into a conversation about me. I don't know how I'm going to get over there or anything. But this is how we do it nowadays. Going to show an argument or two.
So you mean 20 minutes before the show, you still haven't gotten confirmation, you still haven't gotten an invite? Correct? Wow.
Absolutely. No, nothing. I don't even know what it's about other than Red's Rhetoric saying it's not a debate. Let me get that. I'll put it in the... This is one of the things. This is what Red's Rhetoric says. This is as much as I know. He says, let me make this very clear. This will not be a debate. Do we know what it's called? He's called it Flat Earther Bev Gets Leveled. It's not going to be a debate. So, I don't know what it's going to be. He says...
he's going to level you. Maybe he prepared a couch for you?
Yeah, he says the reason it will not be a debate, because he gives a reason. As if he's going to try reasoning. The reason is because you don't have the mental capacity to debate. My goal is to show exactly why. One reason is your argument, inverted commas, rests on word salad and ignorance of colloquial usage of certain words you love so much. That's interesting.
What an inviting... I would have accepted this right away. Like, do you have to bring wine or... Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think that's about right, Pat. No, C4. Absolutely not. But nice try. Have we got a tag? Can you see her? Is there? Doesn't appear to be. There's no little dangly thing underneath the video. Little blue warning thing or anything, is there? C4. Now we're going in talking about an argument. Just logic. Old school sort of stuff.
It's funny how the ballers are more obsessed about saying flat Earth than the flat earthers are.
Yeah, imagine seeing C4 over here.
Hey, what's up, C4? Good to see you. Yeah, C4 wouldn't miss this for the world.
It's not been around for a while, though.
C4 hangs around in gems, I think.
Oh, we're going to go over there soon. We've got a road trip. Emma says she wants a road trip.
Nice. I've been over a couple of times. They're pretty hospitable the last time I was there. With the exception of Naps and Queen. But Gem was very hospitable, I must say.
Just waiting. Oh, hey, wait a minute. There's a message there. On DMs. You will get a link to join in about 15 minutes.
So exactly when the debate starts, or the convo.
Yeah, right, like minutes before.
Everything about this is funny, man. Askin is excited.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think how we're going to get the thing over, because Twitter's on my phone. Get a
Eyes on the road, C4. Drive carefully.
okie dokie. I think we're ready. So 15-minute countdown. Let's get it on. Let's get that link sent out. Get it shared.
So how many times you think they're going to call a Republican a Democrat tonight? I'm willing to bet a lot. Even though when the Republican tells him, I'm not a Democrat. Well, you believe in free speech. That makes you a Democrat.
Yeah, Paige, we don't exactly know what to call this. But I'm guessing this is like, it's not an actual debate, but it is what they would like to call a debate, right? It's where only one side ever comes with anything, and they just get to criticize it. I think that's all it's ever been. But I'm hoping to see how good Red's rhetoric is, if you get what I mean. And by rhetoric, I mean sophistry.
And insults, 100% guaranteed.
Well, yeah, that's part of the rhetoric, isn't it? It's part of the
It can
sophistry
be,
is different tactics. But as everybody knows already, I'm already wise to all of the ad homs and all of that sort of shit. It's the actual rhetoric I want to hear. A rebuttal within rhetoric. I want to see the master of rhetoric at work.
Let me give you a taste. You're a flat earther. Don't be ashamed to be a flat earther.
I wouldn't be ashamed.
I'll take bets. He's going to say that. He's going to say that exact line. I'll take money bets right now.
Hmm. Could we get a t-shirt guy in again? Are we a bit wary of t-shirt guys?
Sure, why not? Can't put a damper on all t-shirt guys.
Yeah, I've got a thing up. They've got their thumbnail up.
What do they got?
They've got their thing up, haven't they? The thumbnail up for this video that they're doing tonight.
Oh, right. You have to press the link quick because it self-destructs in 15 seconds.
I'm gonna have to swap it through.
Unbelievable.
I've only got Twitter on my phone. So I won't want to label anybody anything. That'll be up to you guys. I'm just going to go there and do what I do. StreamYards.
There's a realizing Euclid thing on. Yeah, is that at realizing Euclid?
Right. There is a link.
Wow, this is a record.
Mm-hmm.
6 minutes before the show, he gets the link.
Yeah, okie dokie. Let me just nip to the toilet. You guys talk amongst yourselves for a minute.
Yep. Six minutes to the show, and he sends the link. Nice.
I can't believe it's actually going down, whatever happens. I can't believe we made it this far.
Yeah, don't have your hopes up too high, because yeah, if if what I'm thinking in my head comes true, this is not gonna be very long. But I hope I'm wrong.
Well, I think they owe their subscribers some. They can't just, if they're going to dismiss him, they need a good reason. So they're going to have to establish that somehow. And that's going to be the hard part, is turning, getting Bev to the point where he deserves to be ridiculed and talked down to, and all the games that they like to play.
That's what I'm afraid is gonna happen. If they can keep the insults and the ridicule to a zero, which I can't see happening, then it might, be worth it. But I just can't see it happening. I hope I'm wrong.
Well, they might just lead with that and stay with it, don't you think? I mean, and not even really. I mean, I'm with you. I'm not putting anything past them at this point.
Mike,
Yeah, because why wouldn't you want to debate? I mean, why wouldn't you want to debate a subject? I don't get it.
Right, I'll be back in as soon. Well, I'll just mute up in here.
Sure.
Oh no, wait a minute.
Are you going to feed it through here? Or do we have to go on YouTube?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you my guys might be a bit better going through YouTube here on mine, I think.
All right. No problem.
Yeah, I can't really send the link through, can I? Although I can.
Don't worry
I
about
can leave your screen on. No. All right.
Don't worry about it, bro.
I'm clicking
We'll
the
go
link.
on YouTube.
I'll be back in a bit.
Didn't really go well, but I have talked to him. Yes.
Right, well, if he doesn't show, we'll go an
Hello?
hour and you can explain this crap. Or 40. I mean, we don't have to go an hour even. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's the same old shit. But oh, he has so. Hey,
I'm here. Is that mic
awesome.
working?
Your mic is working. I can hear the Australian in you.
What?
Are you Australian?
No.
Bev? English?
Yes.
English. Okay. Well, Australia. What's the difference? Yeah. Are they both on the same side of the earth?
What?
Are England and Australia both on the same side of the earth?
Same side?
Yes.
I wouldn't know. Is the sides of Earth? I don't know.
Okay. Red, what would you say?
Sure. Why
Okay,
not?
let's go with that. All right. let's see here. I say we just start. How's that? We just have some fun. We're gonna roll right into it.
Can I get some OJ?
Yeah, do your thing, man. We got 2-minute intro. You know that.
Okay, start the intro. I'll get some OJ.
All right. I just got to make sure I'm streaming to the right place because you know, have a habit of streaming to the wrong channel. Output stream. Oh, interesting. How is that? Interesting.
Am I still here? What's going on? I don't see myself on the left-hand side here.
Okay, going live should be 2-minute intro.
Only the host can see you. The host may add you to the broadcast at any time. Be ready.
Did Bev leave?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. No. Oh, yeah, there it is. Sorry, I had to go tab out for a second while I'm doing this.
Have you got any sort of format you want to work to?
Nah, freeform fun.
Cool.
30 seconds for intro left. No, unmute everyone. All right, welcome to the Non Sequitur Show. I'm your host, Steve McCrae. I'm the only host, and I have a couple of people with me tonight for your fun-filled entertainment and excitement, and hopefully a little bit of educational. We'll see. A lot of people have wanted this discussion to take place. We took a lot of pains and efforts to kind of make it happen. No, not really, but it's going to happen tonight. It's going to happen. We're going to get a discussion between the flat Earth debunking guru of all time, Rhetoric, who's just got off from work, I believe, and is home now. I think he's home, right? He's home. You there?
I is at home. Yes.
Oh, you have a good mic. Yeah, your mic is solid, man. Okay, I could definitely hear you. Hopefully, the outside can hear you too. Okay.
I literally dropped this mic off my desk a few times. I mean, I beat the shit out of this thing. The fact it works is nothing short of a miracle.
It works well. No, it's a good mic. And on the other side of the non-flat Earth is Bev. I guess Bev. Try thinking. I believe his name is. Now I don't know Bev that well. I know him from Twitter. I've talked to him on Twitter a few times. I don't think I've ever had a conversation with him. I think you have, but I guess long story short, is a lot of people wanted Bev to come on, kind of explain his position with respect to round Earth, flat Earth, others, Earth. I don't know. And then kind of Red's kind of critique. Is that kind of what was going on between the two of you? Because again, a lot of this was going on Twitter, and I was kind of in between as kind of a host. So,
do you have a dumpster by you by any chance?
You know what? Fun fact. I don't think I even told you this, but we do have a dumpster where I work, and it actually was on fire the other day, like legit on fire. The fire.
Then you know exactly where I'm going with that.
I thought it was an ominous sign, a forthcoming thing.
Well, Steve, remember that letter that we got?
Yeah.
So I have to go over it. We have to go over this. So
all right, do that for. Well, should at least Bev say hi first?
I mean,
Okay. Hi,
Perfect.
Bev. Perfect. Hold
Anyway.
that thought, Bev. Okay, we got to go over this. This is
Yeah, we got to go over this. So we actually got contacted by somebody. We got contacted by the CDC, the FBI, and the White House. And under federal law, I apparently have to tell you this. So there might be some side effects if you watch this. The government is aware of what we're going to be talking about this evening, and it is prudent that we tell you this. So if you were to stay here and watch this show, there may be some side effects. Now, side effects may include, but are not limited to, itchy skin, dry balls, spontaneous penis face growth, hangnail, hair loss, loss of eyesight, loss of eyes, bitter taste, gout, arthritis, lupus, migraines, high blood pressure, cramps, the shanks, blackheads, pimples, the painful variety, concussions, lacerations, uneven tire wear, scoliosis, ringworm, mesothelioma, lead poisoning, radiation sickness, kidney stones, type 1 and type 2 diabetes, inverted colon, bloody earwax, ingrown hairs, extremely poor gas mileage, colds, warts, sores, the bubonic plague, explosive diarrhea, and erectile dysfunction. You have been warned.
I just call it getting old.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. Yeah. So
Is that your
what Ben's trying to-
sponsorship deal?
What's that?
Is that a sponsorship deal you have?
It's close. It's close to. It's a governmental warning because I don't want my subs and I don't want the people listening to be permanently damaged by any of this. So we just kind of give a warning to them that when they continue to listen after the fact, we're not responsible for anything that happens to you. Don't come back.
This is completely on them. They've been warned.
Yeah, this is like the one chip challenge. You do you, but don't blame the people that make the one chip. The pepper. What is it? The Carolina Reaper. Yeah. All right, a couple things right off the bat. Taking the lead. Welcome to Initiate Level. Thank you. You got a cool green name, and he also gave us a $5 super chat. Already starting off the ball here with a $5 super chat. Cool, awesome. Thank you very much for that. So let's just dive into this, Reds. I'm gonna let you kind of like run this a little bit as far as like the direction of this because I don't know what the hell you want to talk with Bev about specifically because I don't know what his argument is to even do any kind of proper critique on it. So.
No, Bev, do you actually have an argument?
Yeah, I thought that's what I came here for tonight.
Awesome.
Cool. I thought that's what you were after.
Absolutely.
What you got for us?
Okie dokie. You want to the full lot, the whole thing, the argument, because I think there's been a bit of a confusion, right, as to what an actual argument is and what it's developed into, especially within the debate arena. Like you've seen the channels, haven't you? The big channels that we say called that have debate in their name. They're not really debates, are they? They're not real debates anyway, with arguments and stuff. So what they've changed an argument into is to shouting in between different people and shouting at each other. Well, that's not actually what an argument is. An argument in the old traditional sense is a structured set of statements placed together to cause the mind to reason a conclusion.
Agreed. Okay.
Yes. So that's what an actual argument is.
I think all three of us agree on that. Yes, yeah. we all agree that what's an argument is a well-formed, structured, usually syllogism. You can have a syllogism. You can have a formal argument, informal argument, induction, deduction. But an argument is basically you're drawing a conclusion from some kind of inferences.
Okay. So that's what the argument is that I'm going to present. If that's what you're after,
we are.
I've tried to get it as simple as possible for you. So the first argument I'll give you is based on a Euclidean proposition that states two straight lines that are parallel to the same straight line will be parallel to each other. Right? That's a geometric proposition within Euclid.
Okay. Yes.
So based on that, we go to state that horizontal lines that are parallel to the same straight line would be parallel to each other. So we can say if all horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon, then all horizontals will be parallel to each other as a statement, right? A logical argument. And from that, we can deduce that all horizontals are parallel to each other. They're all parallel.
Okay, so your argument is geometry.
No, the argument is that all horizontals being parallel to the plane of the horizon would necessitate all horizontals being parallel to each other. Like, you can't have a horizontal intersecting with another horizontal. That's just not possible geometrically.
Okay, right. This is geometry. Yes, Euclid's postulates.
Of course it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Reds, we're right now.
It's the best place to
talking
go,
about math.
isn't it?
Sure. Okay, so math. Everybody agrees upon basic maths, and that Euclid's postulates are in non-Euclidean geometry work, or Euclidean geometry should work. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. How does that have anything to do with the shape of the Earth?
It's not got anything to do with the shape of the Earth. No. I've never been about the shape of the Earth. That was made clear, right? But I mean, so a lot of people have said that particular statement that I say means a lot more than what it does, right? To me, it's just a simple statement that all the horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon. Therefore, all horizontals are parallel to each other. Now, we can go forward from that and state that all the horizontals being parallel is how surveying is done, differential leveling. And from that, using those techniques of all the horizontals being parallel, we can measure elevation changes of the land, thus making the land not flat. So the Earth is not flat, proved by the surveying techniques used that have the geometric understanding of all horizontals being parallel, based on the argument that I presented at the beginning.
Okay, Reds. Well, there you go. Earth is not flat. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, do you think you could use that one, Reds? Is that a good one?
Sure, why not? Sounds to me like you're saying that the Earth is flat, but you're not going to call yourself a flat earther because mountains are a thing. I don't think flat earthers
I don't think that's what I
assert that mountains aren't a thing or that hills aren't a thing. You know, elevation changes over land isn't a thing. I'm pretty sure they agree that that is indeed a thing.
No, I said it's not flat. Did you not hear me?
Flat.
Yeah.
He said it's not flat. So we all agree it's not flat.
It's not flat.
Well, there you go.
What's the overall shape of the Earth? Or would it be fair for me to say that, in your view, the Earth is flat, but it's flat with topography?
No, it's not flat.
But is it flat with topography?
The topography makes it not flat.
Yeah, but is it flat with topography?
That's what not flat is. We can measure the elevation changes to make sure it's definitely not flat.
So let's say you have no topological changes. Let's say that the Earth was completely smooth. There was no elevational changes whatsoever. Is the Earth flat then?
All points of equal elevation will lie on a horizontal plane.
It's a yes
as depicted by the auto level, like I just told you, that's how we measure elevation changes with the
if
tool.
There is no elevation changes to be measured. Once again, I think you've watched the show before. I'm not like Reds. I'm just straight. I just look, I direct. Here's a question. Simple answers, simple host. If there's no topological changes, where there's no elevational differences, so it's completely smooth. If the Earth was absolutely smooth,
zero elevation change.
No elevation changes. Would the Earth be flat?
No. Because you'd be measuring it, wouldn't you, from a tool on a tripod?
All right, so nobody flat.
So there's an elevation change of the tool that you're measuring. The zero elevation change of the land.
You're bringing in the observation, which is irrelevant. So is there any curvature to the Earth at that point?
To level or the Earth? I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. Is there? There's zero curvature. There's zero, Steve. There's zero curvature to a horizontal plane.
Reg, explain to him curvature, because I don't think he understands it.
Explain to him. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, curvature.
Go on, define it for us.
Sure.
You want me to define curvature? Okay,
yes, please.
So basically, like the ass cheeks of Queen Latifah, it is curving, as in it's not flat, it's not straight, has a bit of a bend to it. That little bit of bending can actually be measured, and we know how many degrees it will deviate over a set distance. So I believe the actual rate is 1 degree every 111.1 kilometers.
Okay, and I accept that. Bev, let me ask you: Can you define for us what's called parallel transport?
What?
Parallel transport.
What are you talking about?
Math.
What?
Math. Curvature. The definition of curvature involves what's called parallel transport, which is how you check to see if there's curvature topologically on any kind of manifold. Are you familiar with that at all?
Didn't say anything about parallel when he was talking about curvature. I asked him to define it. You said it was defined as that. You've just changed the definition of what Red's just give us.
Well, I'm giving it mathematical more. You said you like math, right? So I'm giving you more mathematical definition.
I thought you said math.
So math. So in mathematics, if you want to check for a topological space on a manifold to see if there's curvature, you do a little thing called parallel transport using vectors. Have you ever had vector analysis?
Parallel vectors to make sure there's no curvature.
Yeah.
Or the amount of curvature in between the parallels.
Correct. It's called parallel transport. So you've never heard of this before?
No. Okay. Never needed to. I have heard of differential leveling that has parallel horizontals. Is that the sort of thing? And you measure using the parallel horizontals, the elevation of the land. And that way you can tell how much elevation changes there are.
For example, on a cylinder, if you did a parallel transport on a cylinder, there's no curvature. So cylinders do not have curvature.
A cylinder is a developable surface.
But a sphere has curvature because
a sphere is a non-developable surface.
So you agree that a sphere has curvature, but a cylinder does not have curvature.
A sphere is a surface of constant curvature, and a cylinder is a developable surface within mathematics.
So anyway. Are you able to? Would you be able to show us how to do parallel transport on a sphere or a cylinder?
Why would I need to?
Okay,
I can show you. I can show you how to measure elevation in reality using an auto level and parallel horizontals.
Steve, if I may, we're kind of getting away from the original question, so let me re-ask it, if I may.
Absolutely. Yeah, you and I have already just explained what curvature is, I think.
Yeah, on the assumption that we were able to take a giant piece of sandpaper to the Earth's surface and smooth out all those inconvenient bumps and ridges that we call, mountains and hills and shit, would the resulting surface be perfectly flat?
Are you saying if you get some sandpaper and make it flat, will it be flat?
I'm saying magical sandpaper. We were able to smooth the surface. What would that leave us with?
Sandpaper, flat. Because I know what sandpaper is. It's like a two-dimensional thing with a load of grit on it.
Neato burrito. So would it the same? So if we were to smooth out all the topography on the Earth's surface, what would that leave us?
If you were to smooth it out, I mean, are you talking about level being horizontal or not being horizontal? Is that what the issue is here?
I'm not talking about horizontals or levels. I'm talking about smoothing out the topography.
I don't understand. Are you using a piece of sandpaper like a 6x4?
It's an analogy, dude.
Yeah, what's the sort of sandpaper? I mean, normally when you use sandpaper, you are trying to make something smooth, right?
Hang on.
That's what
Steve.
he's using it for. Yes, it's make it
Steve,
smooth.
hang on
Yes.
1 second.
Yeah.
Bear with me for a sec.
Yeah.
Okay, that felt good.
Oh, that
Anyway.
didn't sound good. That sounded
So
painful.
anyway, let's try this one more time. Whether we're sanding it with magical sandpaper or unicorn farts, it doesn't matter. The point is that we are going to take the surface of the earth and we are going to smooth out the topography. So my question to you is, will the resulting surface in that hypothetical be flat?
Are you talking about leveling it?
I'm talking about smoothing out the topography.
I don't know what that means. Can you show me?
Okay.
Show me an example of smoothing out the topography. I haven't got a clue what it means.
Let's imagine
ridiculous.
I decided to completely flood the living shit out of the planet so that every single surface was covered with water. There was not one piece of dry land on it. Would the resulting, shape in that case of the water be perfectly flat? Or would it be, curving at a rate of 1 degree every 111 kilometers?
A water level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane.
I'm not talking about a water
level. As are all levels.
I wasn't talking about a water level, Bev.
I am.
I don't care what you're talking about. I asked the question first.
And thank you, taking the lead for another $5 sticker of hungry hippos.
So underneath that assumption, we covered the entire surface of the earth and water. What would the resulting shape be? Would the surface be perfectly flat, or would there be some curvature to it?
Would all the water be at one level?
Sure.
Okay. Well, the water level is establishing a horizontal plane. That's what the tool does, the water level.
So it is your assertion then that if we covered the entire earth and water, the resulting shape would be perfectly flat.
I'll say it again. A water level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane.
I'm not talking
of
about
reference.
tools, Bev. You're misunderstanding my question.
You're way misunderstanding what he's saying.
If we cover the entire...
Well, you said, it's all one level, and level is horizontal.
Now, does level mean flat to you?
Level means horizontal.
Does horizontal mean flat to you?
Horizontal means a horizontal plane. Now, do you not know what a horizontal plane is?
I'm asking you, is a horizontal plane flat?
No, a horizontal plane is a horizontal plane. It's a plane in the horizontal position. Do you know what a mathematical plane is? Do you know that?
What shape is a horizontal plane?
It's a plane.
What shape is a plane?
How about this? What's the dimensions of a plane?
Is it
length by width, or length by breadth? Length and breadth.
Okay, so that's two dimensions.
Two dimensions,
okay.
Yes.
All right, so there's no height to an actual two-dimensional plane, correct?
No.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So
there's no curvature to a two-dimensional plane either, because it's a plane.
Thank you, Amanda D, a new initiate. Thank you. Get a cool green name.
Cool. Yeah. So, is the plane flat?
There's no curvature to a plane. You should know that. Mathematically,
okay,
a 2D plane has no curvature to it.
So if you are to assert that the water is level, using your words, and level is that of a plane, your words, and plane has no curvature, your words, then you believe that the earth is flat.
No, I don't believe that the earth is flat. I know the earth is not flat.
Again, we're smoothing out the topography by completely covering
I know that level is horizontal.
And is horizontal flat to you?
Like, dude, horizontal is an orientation.
And is that orientation flat?
It's horizontal.
What is horizontal to you? Is it flat?
It's an orientation.
Is the orientation flat?
No, the orientation is horizontal.
So it's not curved, though.
There's definitely no curve in a horizontal. It's a straight line or plane.
So if there's no curve, then is it flat?
Oh. It's a plane.
Which is flat.
And is the plane flat?
Is the plane flat? What are you talking about?
I'm asking you if the
A
plane's
plane is 2D.
All right, so let's get a summation here. So we got taking the lead
Oh
for another
my
$2.
God.
Thank you, taking the lead. Amanda D for 20 Australian says this is for Reds for whatever therapy or headache medicine he may required at the end of this. Oh, that's an ongoing.
Was that
thing,
what you were doing? Were you
believe me.
banging your head on the table?
Yeah, that was his head. That was
Oh,
meeting
cool.
his desk at probably half the velocity of what he normally would do. So I'm assuming it's probably going to get worse here.
Well,
Nice.
keep in mind, one of the side effects that I listed at the very beginning of the stream was migraine. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right,
I did kind of warn people about this. So
You want to
just
get one of
putting
those
that,
hats
putting
that,
that out
you know,
there. So getting back to it,
safety
is the
hats.
plane flat?
A plane's 2D.
All right,
Reds.
so
Come on.
wait,
Surely
this
you've got
2D
better rhetoric than this.
well,
So
wait,
this 2D plane that you're referring to would be flat, correct?
No, it's 2D.
yes,
So
it's flat.
so
That's
Flat
2D
is a visual surface
do you,
thing.
do you know the idea of flatland,
Yeah.
where it was a two-dimensional world? And
Yeah.
it was called Flatland.
Yeah.
Yes, it's one of my favorite books.
It was. So do you agree?
It's not real, is
with
it? It's not real.
Yeah, but do you agree with calling it Flatland?
What? With the author that did it, he could call it whatever he wants. It's a story.
Would you say that was an
talking
appropriate name
shapes
to give it?
The name of the book is actually Flatland: A Romance of Many Dimensions, and it was written by Edwin Abbott Abbott. It's one of the best books ever written. If you have an opportunity to read it, Bev, you may want to. It's seriously really good.
I'll watch the film.
Free advertisement.
Yes.
So anyway,
love that book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So 2D is flat, correct?
2D is 2D, right? Geometrically, it doesn't exist 2D.
All right. So how about this? I got this one, Riz. Let me, Bev, is there any two-dimensional shapes that are not flat?
What? It's 2D.
So does it have any elevation to them? Do they have any width?
Length and breadth 2D. They're the two dimensions.
All right. So they have no width or no height, I should say. It's actually height that's missing. But if you have a plane, that plane is perfectly smooth, right? It's flat. There's no
plane is 2D.
Right. And
it's a geometric thing. It doesn't actually exist. It's a concept.
And there's no curvature to it, which means it's flat, correct?
It's 2D. It's not flat. Flat exists in reality.
Wait, okay, Reds. Now it's your turn because I can't wrap my head around that. How do you have a two-dimensional plane that's not flat in Euclidean space? How does that work?
Yeah, please explain that to us.
I thought you were handing it over to Reds.
Because my brain is broke at this point. I don't understand how you had possibly
broke your brain.
Yeah, I mean, because you're talking about Euclidean space, right? Non-Euclidean. It really actually doesn't make much difference.
All space that we live in, all of us in reality, is 3D Euclidean space, right?
We live in non-Euclidean space.
We live in Euclidean three-dimensional space.
That is actually incorrect. Yes, we have non-Euclidean because curvature space-time because of gravity, but I don't know if you accept gravity.
It probably doesn't. Keep in mind.
Non-Euclidean.
Yes.
With that vertical changes.
Can you tell me maybe the difference? What
how does it stop Euclidean three space being real? What's that about?
For my audience here, so they don't get too confused, what is the difference between Euclidean and non-Euclidean geometry? Can you explain it to them so they can understand?
Euclidean geometry is a well-defined perfect axiomatic system that goes from definitions through the axioms and then through all the propositions, the proofs.
What does that mean, though?
Non-Euclidean just isn't that.
No. Can you give a little more detail? I mean, like, for example, there's different types of space-time curvature. I don't know if you ever looked into relativity. Have you?
Looked into relativity.
All right. So you have different types of the structures of the universe for local geometry. You have what's called hyperbolic. You can have flat, Euclidean.
Where's hyperbolic? No, just Euclidean.
Okay, but what's the difference between hyperbolic and Euclidean as opposed to like elliptic?
Well, Euclidean is the straight line distances that we all know and measure in reality.
It's a little bit simpler than that.
Let's try this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and present my screen because
All right.
obviously I can just ask what is 2Ds, what is horizontal, and Bev is going to do everything in his fucking power to not
Yeah,
say the
present
word
yours.
flat.
I was just showing
So-
his. I was just.
I
Going
don't.
over
Yeah, I
his,
don't use the word flat. There's no need to
Well, hang on.
use the
Oh,
word
believe
flat
me,
within an
believe
argument.
me, we know
This-
that word, as you say, triggers the shit out of people, right?
This is his. I have this up on the screen, right? Because this is his realizing Euclid, right? But if you want to present your thing, I can remove this real quick. Go ahead and present yours. But basically, Bev, Euclidean geometry just means that the parallel lines exist. Whenever you have two lines that are parallel that never intersect, you have Euclidean geometry. But since space-time is curved because of gravity, there is no point of space where there isn't some kind of curvature. So therefore, it's going to either be greater than one or less than one. So it's either going to be slightly hyperbolic or slightly elliptical. But in a pure Euclidean space, you have two parallel lines that will never meet. But that will not happen in any other type of space, because in a hyperbolic space, they will diverge from each other, and in elliptic, they'll converge. Do you agree with that? Because that's just basic non-Euclidean stuff.
Yeah, you've heard of a square.
Did what I just say, is that correct? Does that make sense to you?
Well, have you heard of a square?
I have heard. Yeah, I mean, I have to go back to like second grade, so it's been a while, but I think I kind of remember what a square is. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you remember that the opposite sides are parallel?
Yeah, a square has four equal sides with four internal 90-degree angles. I actually wrote a paper called By Definition, by using the example of what a sufficient and necessary condition for a square would be. So
that's Euclidean then, right? Because those definitely exist, don't they? Squares.
Bev, what we have here.
No, they don't actually, but that's a different
They
debate.
don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Debate.
He's got some
Bev,
nice squares there on the paper. He's just
a line.
What do you think about Steve just telling you that those squares don't exist?
Neato burrito. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do here is let's make this green. I like the color green. You like the color green? I like the color green.
I love.
So,
dude, I love
all right,
this kind of
perfect.
stuff.
They are at least parallel lines, those there that you're using.
I
So
graphs.
hang on, Steve. I'm gonna ask you to do me a favor and shut the fuck up. So
I'm so
Bev.
excited. You're doing graphs.
Oh, I know. Graphs
love
are so
this.
fucking
Graphs are
sexy.
awesome.
I agree.
They are.
So here's what we're gonna
Green
do.
even. All right, go.
If all horizontals are parallel, then
They are on that graph.
If I am, correct, like they are on this graph. So if we accept that, that would also mean that all verticals are parallel as well,
like they are on that graph.
Perfect. So let's say we're going to work in kilometers. Are you comfortable with kilometers, or do you prefer miles?
You can use whatever unit you want.
Perfect. So let's go ahead and say, fuck it, we're going to work in kilometers. So if I were to be here at point F and I were to have a vertical line, let's look at this y-axis. That would be my vertical line. It would be 90 degrees to the horizontal, correct?
Yeah, that's what verticals are. Yeah.
Perfect. 90 degrees to the horizontal.
Perpendicular.
Right. So now let's say we walk down 8 kilometers. If I were to make this, 90 degrees as well. So
I'm getting this for the outside, by the way. Just give me a second. They haven't seen it yet, but they will in 1 second. Don't worry, outside. I'm getting it for you. I'm on it. Don't worry.
Let me know. Hurry up, Steve. You're fucking this up.
I'm hurrying. You expect me to do multiple things at once.
Damn straight I do.
All right, go ahead. They can say in 1 second.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another one. So let's go ahead and make this segment between here and there. Perfect. So that would mean that this vertical is parallel to this vertical, correct?
They're both perpendicular to the horizontal, right?
Yeah.
As defined, yeah. Okay, cool.
Correct.
Yep.
Perfect.
That sounds good to me.
Now let's say I said, fuck it. Let's go down a little bit further. Let's, didn't mean to do that. Let me go ahead and fix that real quick. That was my bad. I apologize, people. All right. So let's go ahead and say, fuck it. We're going to go a little further down. Let's say to 17 kilometers down. So if I were to place another point, maybe 17, 16, whatever kilometers down, and I were to make another line right here, it would be parallel to this one. And it would also be parallel to this one, correct?
Yeah, perpendicular to the same straight line.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So that would work, right?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to place a point right there. And we're going to make this one exactly the same, no different. So let's go 90 degrees clockwise. Boom. Let's go ahead and place a segment down between there and there. Beautiful. So now we have 3 lines here. We have this y-axis right here. We have this line, which is line G, and this line, which is line H. All 3 of them, relative to each other, are parallel, correct?
Yeah, they're all perpendicular to the same straight line. Yeah.
To the same straight line. Okay. Yeah. Now this straight line that we have here, would we be able to do this in reality, where in reality, if I were to actually go out, like let's say to the beach, and I were to step out into the surf, not very far, but enough to still stand up, hit the bottom, that kind of thing. And I were to go straight up, and would they be just like this, parallel to each other, 3 of them all together in reality?
Yeah, if you establish a horizontal, then you can be sure that all perpendiculars to it, all perpendiculars to a plane will be parallel, right?
And so to be
so you
clear,
just establish a horizontal plane, and then all the perpendiculars to that horizontal plane will be parallel.
All right, perfect. So the question then is, can a horizontal plane be established? Thus, we get 3 parallel lines.
Yeah, of course it can.
It can. So what shape does that give us right here in green?
Well, that's the horizontal axis, isn't it?
And it's flat,
on
right?
the graph. Yeah. Yeah, like if you ever seen any elevation profiles? Have you ever seen an elevation profile?
So that would mean the Earth is flat.
Finally.
No, that'd mean that's how you display an elevation profile.
Long? 2.5 fucking months.
But Bev, I think you missed exactly what he's saying, because you disagreed with him that on the horizontal, right, so orthogonal to the 3 lines, those 3 lines are perpendicular to each other because they're all 3 parallel to the green line, right? But the green line is 1 dimension, by the way. That green line is
that'd be
no
zero.
Elevational change. It's 1 dimensional. It has no.
No, it'd be 0. That would be a 0.
No.
And then all the elevations are measured on the verticals.
No, Bev. No, 0 means non-dimensional. 1 means
no. You're 0 for your measurement, Mark.
No, I'm telling. My name's Steve. But look, in geometry, right? A dimension is literally what something you can measure, right?
It's a line.
Okay, a line has a single dimension. It only has length. It has no width. It has no depth. So it's 1 dimension. A plane
like
has
the
2
horizontal
length times width
axis.
So all lines have 1 dimension. And in fact, this is why you should read Flatland, because it talks about this.
Yes.
So
hang on. 82 Productions in the chat. Yes, he finally admitted.
I think we're there. Yeah, I think we're there, Jared. Hang on, Jared. I think we're there. So the green line has no elevational changes, right? It's still on. It's
a horizontal line with 0 elevation change all the way along it.
Hang on, I'm not done answering the question. Is that origin 0? I can't read your numbers.
The origin is 0, yes.
Okay, so the origin's 0. It doesn't go to 1, doesn't go to -1. It stays on 0.
Yes.
That means that line has no elevational changes, which means it's flat, correct?
It's a line. It can't be flat, can it?
Well,
a line is not.
How is a line not flat? That clearly is flat. There's no elevational changes.
It's one dimensional. Flat, flat is a reality term. It's 3D. Right, it exists in the 3 dimensions, flat.
Ev, let me ask you this: is there any curve to this line?
It's a horizontal.
It's a yes or no.
Horizontals don't curve, right? There's no curve. Yes, Reds, there is no curvature to a horizontal line.
Since you agreed that we would be able to replicate this shit in reality, which, by the way, we couldn't.
Elevation profiles. Every elevation profile, Reds. Every elevation profile ever produced in reality will have all of the points of an equal elevation lying on a horizontal line.
Then you, sir, are a flat earther.
We
just finally solved it. It's been a while, but Bev,
are you sure, Reds?
Finally be open.
Are you sure you want to say that? because
I think he's right.
I'm just saying.
I don't see where his argument's wrong. I mean, you're talking about arguments, right?
All
Bev,
elevation profiles in
Bev.
reality apply this. All points on the horizontal are
Bev,
on
hang
an
on a second.
equal
Bev,
elevation.
Bev, you
And
talked about
every
arguments.
elevation profile. Are you saying that's...
Bev, he just gave you an
You
argument.
didn't say that that's...
It's
Do reality.
Do you agree that anything that is non-curved is flat? Or can you give me an example of something that does not have curvature that is not flat? Can you give me an example?
Straight.
Just
A line.
That's what? How does that answer my question? Give me an example of an object that has no curvature to it that is not flat, because flat means there is no curvature. They're synonymous.
You admitted, Bev, that there would be no curve to this line. That says everything, doesn't it?
It's a horizontal line. Have you never seen an elevation profile?
It's a non-curved line.
Apparently, Bev, if there is no curve to this line, and you're saying that we would be able to replicate these findings in reality, what does that tell us about your position?
He's a flat earther.
That I'm a realist.
Steve, why did you have to give
I
it away?
know how to measure elevation changes in reality. That's what it tells you.
Elevation changes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and take that on board. No, I'm actually glad that Bev said something like that. So let's go a little bit down. Let's say I went 22 kilometers, 21 kilometers, somewhere around there. Okay.
Just change the scale.
So let's go ahead and
change
go
the scale
up a
on
mountain a bit. Ooh,
pretend
we're
you've
going to
already
go up
done
a mountain
that.
a bit. So let's
It's
say let's
line.
go up a mountain a bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a line going straight up, because why the fuck not? Let's make that a ray. Let's make this ray perfectly straight up and down. Beautiful. Okay, so with this line, be parallel to this line, which in turn would be parallel to this line, which in turn would be parallel to this line.
I don't know. What's your signifier for that line? You've just put a line in the middle of nowhere. What's it related to?
This would represent, this middle nowhere is actually going to be the altitude shift. So now we're about 4 kilometers up on this scale. So we're 4 miles above, the sea level, whatever, and like on top of a hill, on top of a mountain, shit like that. So if we are on top of this mountain and we were to measure straight up our zenith, would our resulting line of sight be parallel to this line, which would be parallel to this line, which would be parallel to this line?
It's on that graph. Is it on that vertical axis?
I'm pretty sure it's vertical, yes.
Okay. Well.
I'm literally showing you the image.
Yeah, and I'm saying it's just to confirm, because if all of the verticals on that graph are obviously parallel, and you've just drawn another line over one of the other lines that everyone can see are already parallel. Like, I don't know where you're getting at.
So if I went to the top of a mountain and drew my line straight up at my zenith, and then I went all the way down to sea level, like let's say, I don't know, 30 kilometers away, and I drew another line going straight up again, would those two lines be parallel in reality?
Dude, I've not got a clue what you're talking about now. Like, are you talking about this graph? Are you just drawing some more lines on your graph that are parallel?
Okay. I will explain again, but this time using pretty pictures. So what I'm going to do to try and make it easier to understand, I didn't know this shit was going to be so fucking complicated, but I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Okay.
You're drawing vertical lines on a
This
graph?
is MS Paint. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the mountain green. Let's go ahead and make the mountain green. Do you like green? I like green. So let's go ahead and put
triangle.
A fucking mountain there. There you go. This triangle will be a mountain. Now let's go ahead and say
180 degrees, right?
Let's say that I'm going to be
sides.
this red guy, because I'm Red's Rhetoric, because why the fuck not? So I'm going to make a measurement from here at the top of the mountain. I make my vertical. Draw a line straight up into the fucking air. Let's say it was a laser pointer that was perfectly straight up. And then I do this. I'm going to trace my path for you. I go do 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 do
I'm so not high enough for this. Somebody said. I get you.
Steve,
I'm sorry. I can't.
Steve,
I'm so
Steve,
sorry.
Steve,
Stop trying.
Steve.
Okay.
I'm not done yet.
Why did you come back?
I am not done yet. I'm not done yet, Steve. All right, and I go down to here, and I look at this line again. When I was up here on top of this mountain and fired my laser straight up, and I went down here to sea level and fired another laser going straight up, would this fucking thing be parallel to this fucking thing? Yes or no?
On the verticals, yeah.
Okay, then what the fuck does that tell us about your position?
He's a flat earther.
Thank you. Holy shit, we had to break up the
Perpendiculars to a
crayons.
horizontal.
Why would the topological in between, in the space between, why would anything changes in elevation have anything to do with the two parallel lines, which are clearly both orthogonal to the green line? Why would that even matter? It has no relevancy
The
whatsoever.
elevation is measured on a vertical datum, right? It's called that. It's called the vertical datum. Quite obviously, the height of that mountain is measured on a vertical, right? You know the height of it because it's on that vertical scale. Like you've got the picture there. All elevation profiles are on paper like that, with horizontals having the same elevation.
Yeah, but Bev, this is exactly why
Yeah,
I said
but
you're a flat
every
earther
one of them.
because-
Well, everybody
And
that's
here's the thing,
ever
you
drawn
cover
an
height,
elevation
you're a flat earther
profile must be
because
also.
because you bring up mountains as if that's relevant or hills as if that's
No,
relevant.
we're talking about the horizontal being straight.
I'm talking about the verticals, and you said that the verticals
Perpendicular
are all
to
parallel each other,
horizontal.
regardless how far we space them apart. So basically, we can have a vertical here, we can have a vertical here, we can have a vertical here, we can have a vertical that's measured on top of a fucking mountain 21 kilometers away. It wouldn't fucking matter. They would all be parallel to each other. And you agreed earlier that this line that I'm underlining right here had no curvature to it, which represents the surface of the Earth
All
in this
horizontals
example,
are
which
parallel.
means you agree that the Earth is flat.
All horizontals are parallel, just like in that graph there that you've got. So the person that drew that graph must also be.
So you're a flat earther. Okay,
What?
cool. I'm glad
the person that drew that graph. Obviously, mathematics must also be a flat earther then, under your standards.
I'm not the one.
You've just made yourself into a tiny little group, Reds.
Oh dear, sorry. Except that if you remember correctly what I said about these verticals, do you remember, or should I repeat?
Perpendicular.
No. So I should repeat.
Vertical is perpendicular to horizontal.
It is your claim. It is your claim that this line, this line, this line, and this line would all be parallel to each other in reality. My assertion is that is complete bullshit.
But they are verticals within mathematics.
Vertical does not mean parallel.
Of course it does.
You are
they
confusing
are in that mathematical
two separate
graph.
words, and you are trying to make them equivalent to each other. I'm sorry, it doesn't work like that.
What, there's two different verticals?
Two different verticals? No, there's only one definition of vertical, which is straight up from the surface. However, that surface can be curved. And you can still have
you can't
vertical.
have a perpendicular to a curve. You have perpendicular
relationship
between
Let's
straight
go
lines.
ahead and bring in GeoGebra.
What? Wait, I gotta make sure I heard him correctly. I'm sorry. Bev, did you just say you can have a perpendicular to a curve?
Yeah, perpendicular is the relationship between two straight lines.
So like the North Pole
defined that way.
So it's like the North Pole is not perpendicular to the Earth. Like if you take a diameter across the Earth, you just like split it completely in half with a chord that has 2 points that intersect on the sphere that extend outward. You're telling me that is not those points that extend out are not orthogonal to the sphere? I legit, is that what you're saying? Because that makes no sense.
Well, I don't know. You just made that up. I'm just saying
No, I didn't.
perpendicular.
Do it. No, I really
Perpendicular
didn't.
is
I don't-
defined,
Do you know what a chord
right,
is,
as
or
being
diameter?
two straight lines at
What-
right angles to each other.
So
Hey,
you-
Bev,
so-
quick question. I have here 2 lines. What's the angle? What's this angle right here?
What?
what's the angle between those two orthogonal
I don't know. It
lines?
doesn't look. They don't look. Are you sure you've drawn that right?
Yes.
The axes, x and y axis, they're perpendicular.
All right, so they're perpendicular to each
Mhm,
other.
Yes.
Which means what angle? What angle means perpendicular?
It's right angles.
What's
Okay,
and
so
how many
hang on.
degrees
Right,
are right
because
angle?
right means straight.
Okay, so these
no,
lines
it-
are at
no, it
right
doesn't.
angles to each other.
But what degree
That's
is
what
that?
perpendicular means.
Okay,
Well,
hang on, Steve. I need you to do me a favor. I know you
I'm
want to, but
hurting.
please shut the fuck
It
up.
hurts. Red, make
I
it
know. Fuck. Let me
Hold me.
work here.
Stop. Hold me.
You're ruining
Jackass.
it for him,
Anyway.
Steve. He's in a roll.
So,
Let him go.
Bev, these lines being 90 degrees. So, if these lines are 9 degrees, we'll actually just state the fact these lines are 90 degrees. Let's just establish that first before we move on to the next point. These lines are 9 degrees.
Yeah, perpendicular is what we call it in geometry.
Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Oh shit. Shit, what the fuck's going on with that?
Whoa! Wait! Whoa!
Oh shit, hang
wow,
on.
Damn!
Hang on.
damn.
Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh
That kind of looks like a circle.
shit.
Kind of looks like a circle to me.
Fuck. That's hot.
I was talking about the x and y axis. And your lines, obviously.
Oh man. That was good.
I'm just still wrapping my head around why you can't have a parallel line to a curved surface. That makes no sense. It intersects at one point. At the point of intersection, that is the point by which you have a orthogonal relationship. So this is exactly why anything that sticks out of a sphere, like a rocket that's going straight up through the vertical, is literally vertical to the sphere. I don't know why you think otherwise. This is weird.
Yeah, you can.
Because you
so
can't
basically,
have
if I'm standing on the
perpendicular to a
surface of
curve. It's
globe,
the relationship between two straight lines.
if I'm standing on the
No.
surface of a globe and I look straight up at my zenith will be straight up. So it will be literally vertical.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. On a globe, because we are on a globe. I know you may not think that because you're a flat earther, but we are indeed.
I'm not
on
a flat
globe.
earther.
Oh, you can keep telling people that, but we all know you're full of shit. So
I've just shows you how I can prove it's not flat.
yeah, because mountains are a thing, right?
No,
Oh,
because
oh,
we
you-
use parallel horizontals to measure a vertical change. We call that an elevation change. That elevation change means we go into 3 dimensions, i.e.
And if those
not
verticals,
flat.
if those verticals are parallel to each other, that exposes you as a flat earther.
Horizontals are
You
parallel.
do know this, right?
All horizontals are parallel.
And all verticals are at 90 degrees to that horizontal, right?
They're perpendicular, yes. That's the relationship
would make
between
you a flat
verticals
earther.
and horizontals.
Then that would make you a flat earther
Like
by
just
definition.
like that mathematical graph that you just had.
Yep. So basically, if we were to say that mathematical graph with the perfectly flat line that
Horizontals
I put on
and verticals, the x and y
that I
axis
put on the
everybody knows.
I put on the x-axis for you.
Yep.
If the surface of the Earth was like that x-axis,
Reality
then
is Euclidean,
what we
right?
would have
in 3D.
as a result is verticals being parallel to each other, no matter how far down the axis we actually go. Therefore, you, sir, are a flat earther.
And by the way,
expose it with your own definition.
Bev, I think one fundamental error you have is reality is non-Euclidean. Space is non-Euclidean. The reality
the
we
Earth
live
isn't
in
fucking flat.
is non-Euclidean. There's no such thing as Euclidean space in actual space-time. It cannot happen because gravity exists. It's a thing. So therefore, all space-time has some degree of curvature to it.
When we look at, for example, the equatorial telescope mounts, the equatorial telescope mount tells us that not all verticals are parallel because we're dealing with a curved surface.
Who tells you that?
If we actually try,
Who told you that
who
verticals
told me
aren't
what?
parallel? Who told you that?
Geometry did.
No, geometry tells you that the verticals are parallel.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
Reality,
It's perpendicular to horizontal.
Bev,
Necessarily makes a
underneath?
grid formation like you've just shown us on your
Bev, do you
thing.
think
the
reality,
mathematical grid.
Bev, do you think reality has to conform itself to your expectations?
I know that horizontal is a straight line.
That's another yes
and
or no
I
question that we'll
know
not get an
that
answer
all
to.
perpendiculars to that horizontal will be parallel.
That's all great, Bev, but I can't help but notice that you didn't answer my question. You're really good at that. Let's try this one more time. Do you think reality is under any obligation to conform itself to your expectations?
I think, or no, because I've actually used it. Reality is 3D Euclidean and can be defined as such geometrically.
No, it's not.
I can't help but notice
Measurements.
that you didn't
Yeah,
answer my question again.
And got it
Straight
wrong.
line
And
measurements.
and what he said
Everybody
was wrong,
uses
too.
them.
And what he said was completely
So
wrong,
let's
too.
try this. Let's try this for a third time. Do you think, and how about this? For simplicity, just answer with a yes or no. Do you believe that reality has to conform itself to your expectations?
Say no, Bev. Just come on, do it.
I'm not answering a do you believe.
It's not a complicated question. You either believe or you don't believe. It's not. It's no middle ground there.
Well,
I'm sure you're familiar with the law excluded middle.
Guess you don't know me because I don't really believe many things. I like to know as much as I can, and where I can't know, then I
Bev,
go with epoche. Right?
Bev, you can't. Bev, in modern epistemology, you can't know something unless you believe it. But be that as may, first of all, the universe is not three-dimensional. It's four-dimensional. It's 3 dimensions plus one time dimension called Minkowski space. Well, actually, Minkowski space is 4 dimensions. I mean, Neo-Lorentzian would be 3 dimensions plus one, correct? So do you tend to think that the universe is only 3 dimensions without a time?
I only use the 3 of Euclidean for measuring and stuff like that.
It's not Euclidean.
Very practical with my uses of geometry, practical geometry, where we measure straight line distances, vertical and horizontal.
Listen to me carefully, Bev. The universe is non-Euclidean. This is fundamental basic science. I live
in Euclidean 3 space.
Then you don't live in reality.
We talk all the time about realizing Euclid,
yes.
But for some reason we stopped at realizing Newton and fucking Kepler.
Yeah,
so
Einstein
Newton used Euclid.
Do you know who
Einstein, and Newton also understood gravity. So let's try this one more time.
It's vertical.
So do you believe that reality is under any obligation to conform itself to your expectations?
Reality is reality. There's only one reality.
Does it have any obligation to you in particular?
No, right?
No.
Obviously not.
That's all you had to say. That's all
obviously
you had to say.
Not. So, does it have any obligation to you?
Absolutely not.
Okay, well, that's just the same then. We're all the same. Good. We've got a common ground
to be
together.
Imposing on reality a bit. See, I allow reality to speak for itself. And so when you ask me who told you that, reality is what told me that. Geometry, the way it works in reality, told me that.
Pythagorean,
if you were to go
Pythagorean
out into
theorem,
the field
right,
with an equatorial telescope and do the North Celestial Pole observation, if you try to attribute that to a flat surface, like what we drew in that graph, it would render contradictory answers. You do realize that, right, Bev?
What about pi? How do you go with that? Because I bet that's got to be troublesome for you, right?
Why is pi troublesome?
Because pi is the relationship of a diameter to the circumference of a circle, and that is obviously Euclidean, because that diameter is a straight
with what I just
line.
Said. How does that
sort of proves
what I just
that
said?
We have at least two-dimensional circles, so we do have Euclidean geometry there.
That does nothing to debunk what I just said, Bev. That literally does nothing. I mean, hey, Steve, what's the name of this show again?
the non sequitur show, and this is why it's called this. Because this is.
I mean, fuck
'Cause you
me.
don't
It's like,
follow.
This is one non
We're
sequitur
gonna
after
bring up-
another. It just makes no sense. I mean,
No, you were the one that just said we don't live in Euclidean 3 space, when
Correct.
everybody knows that we do.
nobody knows this. There's nobody who
You're
thinks
not-
this.
that would
Sort
be
of
just as well.
I don't know.
gaslighted.
I
don't know.
No, Bev, we're not being gaslighted. Have you taken any?
No,
physics
you're
courses?
trying to gaslight
I'm
your
not
audience.
trying to gaslight you.
Yes.
This is relativity. There's a
no,
guy
your
named Einstein.
audience. You're not gaslighting me.
No,
Don't worry
the
about
audience
that.
knows this. My audience is generally not stupid.
So
the-
81% on the
basic
vote.
relativity.
Let me say. So the vote was a question: is Bev a flat earther? 81% said yes. Neato.
68%, 68 poll. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a poll in the live chat. So the question: does reality have any obligation to conform itself to your expectations? You answered no, which is the correct answer. So I'll give you credit there. Congratulations. But that would also mean that reality has the right to speak for itself. It doesn't need to conform itself to your expectations or my expectations. And when we go out into reality and do some basic observations, like, for example, what I mentioned previously with the equatorial telescope mount, we see that not all verticals are parallel with the surface that we get. It actually turns out that that is indeed not the case because we lived on a curved Earth.
Right. Matter of fact, Bev, I don't think you've ever heard of this, but you brought up pi, right? And yes, I do know what pi is. I
Good.
memorized pi to like the 20th place when I was a kid. 3.1415926535979. Yes, I know what pi is. Now, so let me explain to you this real quick. Do you know what a spherical defect is? Have you heard that term before?
A defect? No.
No, spherical defect.
No.
Because spherical defect actually uses.
No, I'm not
pi.
into spheres.
Okay. Well, because we don't.
Not
okay,
surprisingly, I'm not obsessed with it.
Yeah,
worry.
no shit.
Because the universe is curved, because what's called gravity.
I only live in a little bit in England, right? I only know what I know this little tiny bit.
Look, you can cut Reds off, but you can't cut me off because I actually own the show. So let me finish what I'm going to say. Then you can I'll have the opportunity to respond. So spherical defect is a mathematical relationship when you take 2 times pi and then you substitute the coefficients for a triangle, which is A, B, and C. Okay, so if you have a triangle that has 3 components to it, you have the hypothesis, you have the length, you have the height. So you have A, B, and C. Now,
The
on
hypothesis.
Sphere,
Are you sure? Do you not want to
hypotenuse? So when you have the A, B, and C on a sphere, because a sphere. You can. It's called spherical triangle.
Triangles have straight sides.
Let me finish you. Then you respond. It's called a spherical triangle. Look it up.
You will go on. You will definitely have a definition within your geometry that you're talking about, right?
On a spherical, yeah. This is called non-Euclidean geometry, which I don't think you ever took.
Okay, well, show us the definition of a triangle.
You can look it up. My audience.
There isn't one.
Okay,
You'll not find one.
I'm sure you can find spherical triangle.
Go to definition.
Go to probably
within the geometry of non-Euclidean geometry. Look up, trying to find the definitions, the axioms, and then the propositions to go along with it.
Okay, let me look this up for you real quick. Spherical triangle. Dun, dun, dun.
Way ahead of you, Steve. I'm gonna screen share.
Oh, here we go. From Math World, spherical triangle. Oh, look at this spherical defect. Oh, look at this. Oh, you're not. Are you screen sharing?
I will screen share. This is what I got in Google Images. Look at that spherical triangle.
Look up spherical defect in Wolfram Math World.
Oh, the website?
I've just pulled it up. Yeah.
All right, sure. Let me grab it.
So go to Wolfram Math World and go to spherical defect.
You're not going to be telling people that triangles have more than 180 degrees, are you?
They do on a sphere. Yes, they absolutely do.
Triangles only have 180 degrees, right?
Not in non-Euclidean geometry. In Euclidean geometry, yes, but in non-Euclidean, it has greater than 180. That's called your spherical defect.
But like in reality, triangles that we
is
measure.
Reality.
No, triangles in reality only have 180, right?
No, Bev.
When we measure triangles in reality to get like a slope angle.
Hey, Bev.
Elevation.
I'm going to test your reading abilities real quick. I highlighted just a portion here. Can you please read that highlighted portion?
What? No, you can read it yourself. It's your presentation.
Can you please read it for me?
No, I'll be all right. You got off you go, Steve.
I'll read it. The sum of angles of a spherical triangle is between pi and 3 pi radians, which is 180 degrees to 540 degrees. The amount of which exceeds 180 degree is called the spherical excess and denoted as E or delta. I call it's actually spherical excess or spherical defect because one is related to the arc, but it's basically their relationship to each other.
Yeah, spherical defect right here.
Yeah. So the excess, if let's say that you're on a curve, so let's say it goes to 181 degrees. That 1 degree is called spherical excess, right? And if you're less than that, that's going to be a spherical defect. But they're
That's
both
not measured in
non-Euclidean
reality.
space.
They don't do that in reality, right?
Yeah, they do. That's actually
no, they don't. You can't measure more than 180 degrees.
Remember, Bev.
reality.
Remember what we said earlier, Bev. Reality is under no obligation to conform itself to your
Yeah,
disorder.
but in reality, triangles don't have more than 180 degrees.
Well, wait for you to speak for reality there and be completely wrong at the exact same time.
See, Bev, there's something in relativity called a geodesic path. And a geodesic path is the two shortest points a length between two shortest points in space-time. So when light goes through space,
a straight line, though, right?
No, it's not a straight line. It's actually a curved line. Light bends.
The shortest distance between 2 points, or the shortest path between 2 points, that which lies evenly between those 2 points, is a straight line.
But in the universe, there's no such thing as a flat space-time. It's actually curved to some degree. Now, local space.
But there is a straight, right?
Do you know why light bends in space? Like, for example, have you ever seen the experiment where they will look at a star that is behind the sun, and when the sun gets eclipsed, the sun actually looks like it's at a different position.
The star.
The bends position of the sun.
There is a straight
of the
right?
star. No. Listen though. Have you ever seen that done? Have you ever seen that experiment where they see the star that's actually behind the sun, but during the eclipse you can see it next to the sun because the light is being bent around the sun? Same thing that happens around a black hole, or it's called an Einstein cross. Have you seen any picture of light bending? Or do you like bend doesn't bend?
Well, I know straight lines, right? You can't tell the bend or the curve without the straight line, and straight lines obviously exist.
But in relativity, the shortest distance between 2 points is actually a curve.
How can it be?
Because it's physics.
In reality, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line.
Bev, we agree that lines exist, but what we're saying is that the Earth's surface is not flat like that line.
It's a curve.
The Earth's surface is curved. It has always
you were talking
been
about
curved. It will forever
shortest
be
distance
curved.
between 2 points. Steve was talking about in the universe.
It's a geodesic.
Talking
curve.
about lights behind the sun.
So have you never heard of?
So how was he talking about the surface of the Earth?
Bev,
I mean, are you and Steve at cross paths?
This Bev is called gravitational lensing.
Yes.
Please look it the fuck up.
You've never heard of gravitational
right?
lensing?
So that's a straight. Where's the straight line in there?
The straight line.
Look, here's a nice illustration.
Are you talking about the surface of the Earth now when you're talking about this?
Sure.
Or what are you talking about? Are we talking about straight lines and
gravitational lensing
lights?
is caused by gravity in space, curving space-time. So in order for light to travel through space-time, it has to go through the manifold of space-time, which is curved, which, by the way, means it is not a straight line. It cannot go a direction that doesn't exist. So it has to curve in relationship to the space-time fabric.
We're just talking about horizontals and verticals in reality.
If you bring up a Minkowski diagram, Reds, this would show everybody in the audience, using a simple Minkowski diagram, that light will curve in the presence of a gravitational field.
Yep, that's correct. But keep this in mind, Bev. While we're going over this, I will also, and please don't fucking hate me on this, but yes, I will agree with Bev on one thing, that we are having two separate conversations at the exact same fucking time. It's just that, Bev, the reason why we're doing that is because you are what we like to call fractally wrong, where we can go in many different directions to explain why you're wrong. And it kind of gets a little difficult to keep on track. So I will apologize for that. So I will stick to 1 point and 1 point only. And that point is this, is that when we try to make observations in reality and conform those observations, brute force it, if you will, to an Earth which has a flat surface with topography, of course, the results that we get lead to contradictory answers. And I would like to know why you think that is. And I'll give you a specific example.
We all
before
know
we
you
answer.
can't have contradictions, right?
In
There's
reality,
no such thing as a paradox in reality, is there?
contradictory entities do not exist, correct?
No
There are
such thing as a
paradoxes,
paradoxes in reality, right?
I don't agree with that.
Oh,
I mean,
Uh-oh.
there actually is
acceptable paradoxes.
Well, there is actually a hypothesis for that. Actually, Hawking came up with that postulate. That
I believe that goes on the extremes, like around black holes, like Stephen Hawking's black hole theory, but not getting into that right now. What I'm basically trying to say, just keeping it local to the Earth, so not around the gravitational field of fucking supermassive black hole. We're talking about a basic observation. My observation is this. I look at the North Celestial Pole, and
Light
then
in the sky.
I also look at the Southern Celestial Pole and realize there's two different pole stars in which the stars rotate, one in the north, one in the south. That doesn't make sense with the surface of the Earth being flat. Would you agree?
Can you look at both of them?
Could I look at both of them?
No, you say you do look at both of them. I'm saying, like, do you do that regularly?
If I look, I can look north because I'm in.
I thought I thought you said you can.
Yeah, I can if I booked a flight, but
I thought you meant from where you were. I thought that might be. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I guess.
Okay, perfect.
I guess I just misunderstood what you said.
What then? So the question is, why do we have two pole stars in which the stars rotate if the Earth is flat?
I haven't got a clue.
Okay, so that doesn't make any sense. All right, let's try a different one. Let's stick with the northern hemisphere and only use the North Celestial Pole. If I use an equatorial telescope mount and measure the altitude angle of the North Celestial Pole, and then I continuously move north, making measurements along the way, and then I plot those measurements out on a flat plane, I will get contradictory answers for not just the direction of Polaris, but also the position of Polaris.
You mean for elevation?
Do you agree with that? What?
Elevation.
Elevation angle.
Right, yeah, but you measuring angles across the ground, right?
Correct.
Now, each of those angles, is that a straight line between the two of those points?
If we plot it on a flat Earth, it would be a straight line between
them. No, but would you measure it as a straight line in reality?
In reality,
yeah.
No, because the Earth is round. But if we
from a distance from A to B, if you're measuring that distance from A to B, would that be on a horizontal?
If we brute force it, Bev, and plot those angles on a flat Earth, do you realize it renders contradictory answers?
When you measure the distance from A to B, do you measure a straight line distance along a horizontal?
No, I measure a straight line distance between the two. It's per the direction of travel.
But so all distances are measured horizontally, right? In reality,
what I mean when I'm driving, I drive
actually like when you actually measure distances in reality, you have to get them horizontal distances,
and then we look at the angle
because that's
of the northern celestial pole, and we plot it all the way up the continental United States. Did you know that we get contradictory answers? And I want you to answer why you believe that is.
I'm still trying to work out at the base when you start measuring, and you measure a distance
from point A.
It's a straight.
I drive to point B.
Yeah, and that's a straight line.
I drive.
Or is there an elevation change? Is there a slope down? A slope up? Are you going up a hill a bit, or what?
No.
We want to know where the shortest distance is between those 2 points.
Let's say I do, Bev. Whatever makes the most sense to you. I drive directly between point A and point B.
You don't care about the elevation or whether it's the shortest distance.
As I'm going up the continental United States,
do you have the shortest distance like Steve?
How about we use this example?
Would I be getting contradictory answers? As we plot out the lines, the answer is yes. I want to know why that is.
Let's use us as an example. I live in California. I'm at sea level where I'm at, like literally almost at sea level. You're almost at sea level because you're flat Florida. There's no a millimeter is considered to be a nosebleed where you're at. So
our highest point is an overpass.
yeah, it's like ridiculous how flat Florida really is. It's flatter than Kansas. So we're at so he and I are at the same sea level elevation. Okay. So Polaris, with respect to me, I know exactly what Polaris is every single night. I could walk out my door right now and I go literally point directly at Polaris, sight unseen, because it's circumpolar and it stays in the same position. He could do the same thing, right? Okay, so so use that example. I'm A, he's B. Polaris is out there.
Okay, without looking up, A and B, the shortest distance between those 2 points, is that a straight line or is it a curved line?
On the surface of the Earth?
Depends on the model in which you plot it.
No, this just the shortest distance between those 2 points. Is it a straight line or a curved line? Because I would say the shortest distance between those 2 points is what you would call a horizontal line, and it would be straight.
Again, if I'm doing
as
the
measured in reality,
Earth, I would have to follow the surface of the Earth. So it would be curved in that respect. But
would
as
you
far
call
as
it horizontal?
I'm driving straight there.
Would you call it horizontal?
Once again, Bev, which I know
when you say you're driving straight along your curve, would you call that horizontal?
If we don't answer this question, I will continuously re-ask until we actually get an answer. So we may be here for hours. I just hope you're ready for that. So the question once again is that if I were to look at the northern celestial pole with an equatorial telescope mount, and I started in Florida, drove my happy ass all the way up to continental United States, taking measurements along the way, and I were to plot those elevation angles on a flat Earth, I would get contradictory answers. But if I plot them on a globe, we don't get contradictory answers. And I just want your opinion as to why that is.
I don't understand you and what you understand as a straight line. You seem lost and confused.
We'll have to bring up pretty pictures again.
No, I'm just trying to establish, right?
Our elevations are different. So,
let me establish this, right? If the shortest distance between those 2 points was curved, then the shorter distance would be the straight line. So you would have a shorter distance than the shortest distance, which is very contradictory. You've said that doesn't exist. So where would the horizontal be in relation to your shortest distance?
So Bev, I've once
in
again
reality
broke out the crayons for you. So let's go ahead and look at this graph. This is on a video that I previously made.
Use your location and the North Pole, because that's perfect. Because
this point right here.
We're not doing longitudes, but not
full screen it for you.
a lot. So use an exceptional amount of difference between 0 degree and where you're at.
So what we have here is a couple cities: Alice, Texas; Bush Springs, Oklahoma; Hutchinson, Kansas; Mitchell, South Dakota; Walhalla, North Dakota, and this is the North Pole. These are my observed elevation angles for the northern celestial pole. Now, if I were to plot these on a flat Earth, which is right here, don't you see I have different crossovers and different directions for where the pole star Polaris would be located? Do you see that on this graph?
I can see that it looks like a mess. Yeah.
Yeah, it does look like a mess. I completely 100% fucking agree with you.
I agree with that as well.
I fucking agree with you there. It looks like an absolute
These are not real world
show.
observations.
Yeah. I mean,
who did that, like Reds? Was that you? Did you do that?
Fire.
Did you do that?
It looks like
Did you do that, Reds?
So, question.
Did you do that?
Would I be able to
You did, didn't you? That was you that did that.
Or would I be able to place the pole star here? Which one would be the location?
You could do whatever you wanted, couldn't you? It's your imagination.
Yeah,
it's your drawing.
I could have it here.
Yeah, you've crossed those lines wherever, yeah.
Yeah, wherever it crosses over could be a possible location for the pole star Polaris.
Did you think about bending the straight line? Did you try that?
So
what about that?
Bending the straight line to
I think Steve would have. Bending the straight line. That's what Steve was suggesting earlier.
You know what? That's a good idea. Let's bend that shit to make a round.
Oh,
look at that! They fucking works.
What have you bent?
It doesn't look like a fucking mess, doesn't it?
What have you bent? The straight line.
So
because it's curved.
It's
curved.
As if the color coordination
are they parallel?
Didn't already give it away. I'll go ahead and explain this.
Are they all parallel now?
Yes, they're parallel. So with this, here we have Alice, Texas, Bush Springs, Oklahoma, Hutchinson, Kansas, blah, blah, blah. So I plot these same elevation angles on a globe and I get no contradictory answers. But if I plot these same exact angles on a flat Earth, as to use your own words, Bev, it looks like an absolute mess.
Yeah, I mean,
And I would like to know why
Because
you
you did
believe
it.
that is.
I don't believe it. I believe that's a mess because you drew it and you made it a fucking mess.
So you don't believe we would get these measurements in reality?
What measurements?
The elevation angle
The
of the northern
distance
celestial
across
pole.
the straight line, the horizontal distances between them.
Yeah, so the elevation angle, you don't believe that if I was, like, for example, in Alice, Texas, I wouldn't get 27.75 degrees, or in Walhalla, I wouldn't get
Wouldn't know.
48.9 degrees.
I wouldn't know. You're obviously the angle to the light expert. But you seem to have got a load of parallel
I don't
lines
believe it
on
takes
them.
an
What's
expert
going
to
on
use
with
an
that?
equatorial telescope mount, but
No,
I'll
not
take
really.
the compliment nonetheless.
No, look, I've had.
Can you
one,
show
so
us where
I'm-
a horizontal is on that?
Go
on
back
that
to the
other
sphere
one.
one.
Yeah.
Let's
Go
back
to the other
spheres.
one.
Go back to sphere.
Okay.
Go back to
Hang
that.
on.
So
funny one.
Steve.
At the North Pole, Polaris is going to be directly overhead, right?
Yeah.
Which you don't have a red line there, but
Where?
can you put a red line there, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter. Just
Okay,
it's
so
on the
there's
y-axis.
so there's a y on the y-axis from the origin. You have another red line. All those lines are parallel because Polaris is far, far away, and they actually
Parallel?
explain. Yeah, they're all parallel. Means that the light comes in parallel to the
Didn't
ground.
you
So-
say that parallels only
so-
exist in Euclidean? And you said that doesn't exist. But
We're looking at the
You
graph
can't
here.
have-
That graph is clearly going to be Euclidean geometry, correct? It's Cartesian. Do you know what Cartesian means?
yeah, I know what parallel
Oh,
is.
wait.
Yeah.
What's
Only
what's-
Euclidean, you said.
What's Cartesian?
Remember?
No, what's
Everybody
Cartesian
remember
graph?
that. Steve says.
Bev, what's a
X
Cartesian
is the
graph?
XYZ
Okay.
axis.
Well, no, there's no necessarily.
Yeah.
There's no Z on here.
They're all
Sure, XY.
perpendicular to each
All right,
other, aren't they?
So those lines
This
are
is the XY graph. Yeah, that's what I was
those
talking
lines
about.
are parallel,
before.
correct? Those lines
Horizontal,
are on the graph. Okay.
horizontals and verticals on
Now,
that graph.
The green
X
line,
and Y, they're all
Bev,
parallel.
Bev, follow along. The green line, that green line, you agree would be curved, correct?
It looks like a circle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, just-
that
Definitely
curvature
drawing a
represents
circle
something.
there.
What that represents is the
Confirmed.
surface of the Earth. Would you agree? Is that what the surface of the Earth looks like? A curve like that?
Agreed.
That's going to represent.
Circle.
I can confirm, Steve, that I made this to scale.
Even better.
I made it exactly to scale. It has the
A circle.
same
I'll
I'll take
take
your
the
word
exact
for it.
radius.
You made a
looks
circle
fine.
to scale. Does it relate to
No,
pi?
he made the circles to scale with reference to the points on the surface of that. In other words, the distance between the cities would be equivalent to scale as if they were really on the Earth. That's what
Yes,
scale
everything
means.
the spacing
Right.
between the cities
And I'll
and
take your
the
word for
spacing
it. It
between
looks-
the
it
group of
looks fine.
cities and the North
Yeah.
Pole, exactly.
fine.
the
You know
scale.
the
You're absolutely right.
horizontals on that.
Now-
Where
now,
would you
hang
put a
on.
horizontal on
Hang on,
that?
hang on.
Considering
Now,
that
Bev, I
one
have a
of the
question.
axes is
Bev,
already
I got a
horizontal.
question. What's the furthest point city away? I can't see it. What's
The
name of that?
furthest one way down here is going to be
Yeah.
Alice, Texas.
Okay, Alice, Texas. In order to get from Alice, Texas to the North Pole, if you went in a straight line, what would happen? In a literally straight line with reference to your diagram there, Bev. Where would you be traveling? No, straight line, like literally straight line. Yeah.
You go
called a chord, by
horizontal
the
and
way.
then vertical, wouldn't you? Or the slope.
So would you? So would you be
That's how you
traveling-
measure the slope,
called a
isn't it? The
chord.
elevation is because all of
No,
the
that's not what a
horizontals
slope
are
is.
parallel.
A slope is a change in a rise over run. But you have a
Uh-huh.
chord between Alice, Texas, and the North Pole that
Mhm.
intersects on the surface of the sphere at 2 points. That's okay. It's not tangent, right? It's two intersection points. So those two intersection points would have a straight line between them. That's the shortest distance. But in order to get there, you would have to go through the planet Earth. Do you agree with that?
That's just a circle, Steve.
It's
That's
representing-
not a planet.
Bev,
It's
the
on graph
circle-
paper, Steve. I mean,
Are
come
you-
on, let's get
Bev,
real.
I
Stop
got
being
this, I got
intellectually dishonest,
Bev,
dude. You
the
know
cir-
this is
the
a
circle-
fucking diagram
Right.
representing
The
something.
circle
It's a
represents the two
circle.
Bev,
Yeah, it's a
It's
circle
on
that
graph
represents
paper.
the fucking Earth.
Bev, let me get this out. The circle represents the surface of a three-dimensional object. Everything in the middle.
It doesn't.
of
A circle's
that-
just a
let me-
circle.
Let me finish. Everything in that circle, everything below the origin, that's in the interior of that circle, is a representation of the surface of a three-dimensional sphere.
It's just a
That's
circle.
literally what a circle is the hypersurface of a sphere. That's
Steve,
really
you
what
see
a circle
exactly
is.
what he's doing here. This is clear intellectual dishonesty.
I don't think he understands anything about geometry. Like literally nothing.
So Bev,
It's a circle. Come on, Steve.
Bev, I'm going to respect you more than you are respecting yourself. So since you are fully aware that this represents the surface of the Earth,
Right.
and since
It's
you're fully
just
aware
a
that the
circle
elevation
that
angle
you've drawn
that
a
we're
load
looking
of
at
parallel lines on.
shows these angles right here, so 27.75 degrees in Alice, Texas is the altitude angle that we would be looking at in order to see the pole star. So
Draw your
now-
horizontals on it, and then
So the
you can
question I have
rebut
is,
my
Bev,
earlier
why
statement that
does it
all
make sense
horizontals
on
are
this model,
parallel.
but it doesn't make sense on this model? Can you answer that question for us?
And say on both of the graphs, all of the horizontals are actually parallel, apart from one that you put a circle on and tried to imagine that you drew angles.
So the question I have
can't
is,
have an
Bev,
angle
why
to a
does
curve, can you?
Why does it work
Reds.
on the round Earth model, but this same observation doesn't work on the flat Earth model? Can you please explain that to us?
An angle, as you well know, is the inclination of one straight line to another straight
So once again,
line.
Bev, if we plot this observation on a globe, it makes sense. But when we plot it on a flat Earth, it doesn't make sense. Can you explain this to us?
Do you want to go proof for proof? Because
No,
I
want
gave
to
you an
just-
argument earlier on, right?
I want you to explain
this-
why
is this
I
your
seem to be having a
rebuttal?
contradiction
Is
with the
this-
flat Earth,
Is
but I'm
this
not
your
getting a
rebuttal?
contradiction with the
I
globe.
don't
Can
care
you
about
please
the flat
explain that
Earth.
for
I've
us?
told
Reds,
you
we-
it's not flat.
Reds, we have a bigger issue on the table, I think, and a more important actual question. I think Jared actually really brings up a very, very significant question to be asked. I mean, we're talking about philosophy here. So
No, we're not talking
well,
about
well, hang on,
philosophy.
hang on, hang on,
Keep
Red.
this in mind, Steve. We are
But-
not talking about
but,
philosophy.
and
This
but-
is a textbook
this-
example of
I agree.
intellectual.
I agree. This is the philosophical question I'm going to pose to you. Jared states that Bev actually does seem to he does actually kind of know this. He's just being intellectually dishonest on purpose. So, what do you think? I mean, do you think Bev has some basic understanding of geometry and he's just lying to people, or do you think he's just incompetent? What is
No,
your view?
I think he understands the concepts in which I'm speaking. I think he's
Just
lying.
Euclidean.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm only.
And, you know,
I've
and
only
listen,
made
I-
up a non-Euclidean
I-
geometry of my
I'm
own,
gonna-
but
hang
I
on,
mean,
Bev. I'm gonna
so
weigh in this
that
myself.
and Euclidean
I'm
are the
gonna
only
weigh in this
ones I
myself.
really understand.
Bev, from my observations, I think there's a combination to be had. One, I do not think you understand geometry, but I do think you
Wow.
understand second grade geometry. For the image that Red showed, if you pass second grade, you would understand that. So at that point, I do think you would have to be obfuscating and being deliberately dishonest by not understanding a two-dimensional representation of a three-dimensional sphere. So I have to go with Jared on this one. I think Jared's probably right.
It was just a circle.
I'm going to say that Bev
That
is,
circle
is
represents something.
dishonest. Yeah, I think it's more intellectually dishonest and taking the piss more than anything else.
This is
not a
this is
fundamental
kind of-
misunderstanding of literally second grade.
This is kind of my thinking here. My thinking here is that when Bev freely admitted that he was a flat earther,
Oh, come on, Reds.
He was at.
I've
one
never
point-
done
Hey,
that.
Steve, can you do me a
That's a
favor?
blatant lie.
I already muted
Blatant
you. Go ahead.
lie.
You have to
Oh, is he muted me?
I'll
Thank
mute you.
Yeah,
I
he's muted
believe
me
that
on
when
this side,
Bev
hasn't he? Yeah.
originally called himself a flat earther,
He never called
was
himself
proud
a
to
flat
do so.
earther. He's a liar.
I truly believe that he was proud to do so. But
I never did that.
while engaged in this discussion, while engaged in this
Lying
debate,
shit.
he kept
He's
getting
muted me, so
defeated
don't worry about
when
that.
he would argue against a globe and while he was supporting the flat earth.
It never
Because
happened.
as anyone who's been engaged in this debate for as
Wow,
long as I
this is
have will
bad,
know,
isn't it?
there actually is no argument for
Everybody
the flat Earth.
knows I'm muted.
There
on
is
their
no
side,
model
right?
for the flat Earth. You can't make
I
any
don't have a
useful
model for a
predictions
flat Earth.
with any flat Earth model.
I'm
And
not
Bev
a
is fully
flat
aware
earther.
that the flat Earth model renders
I don't
a
know a flat
substantial
Earth
amount
model.
of contradictions that has no solution. And even if you brute forced
I do
one
know
solution
one model that does have a lot
to
of
one problem,
contradictions, though.
you would introduce another. For example, they brute forced a flatter solution for the Eratosthenes observation by placing the sun small and local, only to introduce another problem when it came to the sun's
Aristophanes is
angular
just an
size. I just made a
illogical,
video on that. Watch
argument.
it, please. So
we've got Betty to do that.
with
for
him
us.
understanding that there actually is
I'll
no
put that
saving
one
the
out.
flat Earth, while
There is
having
no
an
flat Earth.
intellectually honest discussion, what he is trying to do is define flat Earth into existence, meaning by you using the words horizontal,
Saying all
level,
horizontals are parallel.
vertical, this type of shit. By you using those words, you unintentionally admit to the flat Earth because of the definitions that he superimposes on these words,
vertical
not
and
knowing that
horizontal
there
being
actually is
perpendicular.
context that we use to these words. Like, for example, horizontal. Horizontal means parallel to the plane of the horizon.
Exactly.
Now, Bev would want you to believe plane means flat, as we already demonstrated earlier in this.
doesn't.
He
It's
kind of said the
two-dimensional.
quiet part out loud and
geometric.
admitted to being a flat Earth when we were discussing the definition of a plane there. But I digress. Moving on.
Wow.
The horizon at human scale can be considered a plane because you have to travel 70 miles roughly for a single degree of change.
Straw
So if
man
you're
away.
standing on the
Go
shoreline
on.
and you can only see 5.2 miles of the horizon with a 120-degree field of view, that means you would only really be seeing
am I meant to leave or something? I
0.07
don't know what it's meant to
degrees.
be going on
It's
here.
hardly anything.
This is ridiculous.
So even though we know for a fact that there is a slight curve to the horizon, it's so subtle that we can just call it a plane without doing damage to our epistemology. Level is a surface that is exactly 90 degrees to the pole of gravity, or a surface that is congruent to another surface, meaning that the rubber on the tire is level with the rim that it is on. Otherwise, your tire would be fucked.
No.
All right, so I'm gonna
I can use horizontal and not have any damage to our epistemology.
All right, so I'm gonna give Bev 2 minutes. I'm gonna silence you, Reds, for 2 minutes. Okay.
Cool.
I'm gonna give him 2 minutes after I'm done speaking. But here's raises the problem. If we agree that he's just patrolling and being a Poe, then he probably does believe the Earth is actually sphere. It is round. It is just like all the globe people are telling him, and he's just taking the piss, which means he's not actually a flat earther. So the poll would be wrong, right? Reds? I mean, because he's not if he's really lying to people and just being dishonest, he's not a true flat earther. He's just pretending to be because whatever reasons. But
history would deem otherwise. I have no evidence to show that he knows that the Earth is round. I have evidence, however, to show that he believes that the Earth is flat.
All right, so okay, I accept this. So going by what his own words have been, according to him, he is a flat earther, but you can't say one way or another.
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
Are you going to give me the 2 minutes, or are you just going to carry on and having your back and forth?
I'm going to mute you and let us, because I don't like being interrupted. I think we've got that down. So I will give you 2 full minutes, just like I did Reds. I give you my word. But I just want to get this point across.
According
to what he's saying, he's a flat earther. Whether he actually is or one or not is irrelevant. Is that what you're saying? Because I agree with that. I think it's irrelevant. He's just Poe.
Yeah, right. I would say. I just
want to know where he's coming from. So let me give him 2 full minutes, and I'm gonna mute you. Okay, Reds.
That's fine. Do you want an answer to that question, or
please. Yeah.
Okay, I'll be very, very quick. I believe that he is indeed a flat earther. It's just that he realized there's no actual arguments for the flat Earth, so he has to argue semantics.
Okay. So at that point, he does believe the Earth is flat, and he's still being trolling and dishonest.
Yes, correct. It could be both, and why not both?
Why not both? Okay, Bev, you have the floor for exactly 2.5 minutes. I'll give you, because that's basically what he had. Timing begins now, and I'm going to mute Reds. There he goes. He's muted.
Thank you very much. As everybody knows, and everybody has known, and everybody that knows me, I've never been a flat earther. I'm not a flat earther, and I can never be a flat earther because I have a proof that the Earth is not flat. I do actually have a qualification in surveying, so I have actually practically measured that the Earth is not flat. So I know that. I thank you for letting me come on tonight, because you allowed me to point out that all horizontals being parallel to the plane of the horizon means that all horizontals are parallel to each other. That's a statement that requires a black swan type answer to it to show a horizontal that isn't parallel to another horizontal or parallel to the plane of the horizon, which is impossible. So I know and I can understand why you like to think that I am a flat earther, but I'm not. And please don't take these arguments that I'm bringing, very simple arguments, as flat earth arguments, because they're not. They're from reality. So please don't take it as a flat earther. I'm not a flat earther, never have been, never will be. Thank you very much.
All right, so I have one last question for Bev. Bev, if I start walking and I continue walking, I keep going in the same direction, right? I just keep walking and I keep walking. Assume I can walk as long as I want to walk and there's no obstructions or nothing. Where am I going to end up?
Walking straight.
Walking along the surface of the earth, because I have no other choice. I can't go through the earth. So walking along the surface of the earth, and I stay on the same longitude or same latitude, same longitude, but same latitude but different longitude. So I'm just walking straight, on the surface of the earth. Where am I going to end up? Will I keep walking forever, or will I end up where I began?
Do you want to come on a canal? I've got a canal near me. It's
that's
27 miles long. Let's get on the canal and in a canoe.
Answer the question,
and we'll both go paddling down the canoe, and then ask me then.
Bev, that's not the question.
No elevation changes. No hump.
If I continue walking, regardless of
horizontal plane,
regardless of elevation changes, if I continue walking, am I going to walk forever? Am I going to fall off something, or will I return where I start? Those are only the three options. Which one do you pick?
Come on the canal with us.
I'm going to mute you until you answer the question, because I don't play this like Reds. I don't want to have a non-answer to a question. Here are your options, because they're the only three options that are possible. One, infinite. You keep on walking. Two, canal. You can. I guess you can hit a wall. We'll go with that one too. So you hit something. Three.
I've not even heard it. It sounds like fucking nonsense.
Okay, so basically, you continue on forever, hit a wall, or end up where you started. I don't think there's any other options.
Or fall off the edge.
Or fall off the fall off the edge. We'll go with those four options. Hit a wall, fall off the edge, walk forever, or you end up where you started. Those are your four options. Which one do you pick? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Here you go.
I'll go with epohe.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Bev.
He's
obviously
just
cannot answer that.
No, because as I said,
again, that's the Red's rhetoric.
Yeah. Well, as I
said, I thank you very much, 100%. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. When he says that his arguments aren't flat earth arguments, he's full of shit. 100%.
I agree.
The reason why he won't answer that question is because it would directly expose him as a flat earther, and he.
Okay, back into Discord. Yo. How did I do? Yeah. Kicked. You kicked me.
You did good, bro. The little wieners.
Was that good enough?
They muted you.
Yeah. Muted me twice.
I called it.
Yeah.
They double teamed you and they tried to ridicule you. Yeah. Just like we said.
But at least I got the argument out there, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much. That was quite good. They can't face the argument at all. The moment I said it, they just blanked it as though it wasn't there. They didn't see it. They didn't even attempt to rebut it. They just looked at the lights in the sky. Even went to fucking nebulas and shit. That was terrible for their behalf.
Wait,
right?
Bev, that wasn't live, was it?
Yeah.
Oh my dear Lord, these psychopathic retards, bro. I mean, why don't we go down to the local prison and find some better people to speak to?
Oh, well.
Okay, hey, give me 1 sec. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Bev, they kicked you, didn't they?
Of course they did.
Psychopaths.
You won.
But
big time. Like you made
that's true.
Absolute fools out of those two. Had them triggered the whole fucking time. Well done. Well done.
These people are psychopathic retards, bro.
I don't know. Hang on though. Bev, I don't know if you saw it at some point in the live chat. You could scroll back up. I posted a clip. You have to watch it. It was my prediction, and you all heard it.
it. Nice.
The whole
These
point
people
of
make-
this,
yeah.
the whole point of this whole debacle was just to get Bev to say he was a flat earther, or to somehow make Bev a flat earther. That's it.
Yeah.
I was surprised to see Cleary in there.
Oh, on
Trying to
on
get-
their chat or on mine? I didn't.
Yeah, in
see
their
them on
in their live chat, trying to also make you a flat earther.
Yeah, I don't know what Cleary's got up with it. It's ridiculous.
I still love Cleary, whatever, but I was kind of
It
confused.
could be a sock account, right? Somebody could have done that.
Yeah,
like they
it could
do.
be.
They
It
do
could
do
be.
that, don't they?
Yeah.
Wouldn't they pick somebody more important than Cleary to make a sock of?
No, because Cleary was like with us.
Well, it doesn't matter. You are not allowed to be your own person. Then whoever has to put you in a category has serious psychological issues. They're
That's why I
fucking out of their
found the
minds.
the whole thing was just to put Bev in a group of flat earthers.
Yes, because they're retards. Yes, it's
Because they're
disgusting.
fucking dumb as fuck. They can't decipher the difference between 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional. They think a 2D representation is actually 3-dimensional. Like, gotta be fucking kidding me, man.
Straight
I had to
The
lines.
Earth isn't flat.
Literally,
I had to put laughing
the
faces in the
shortest
fucking
distance
chat.
between 2 points.
Oh.
Holy shit! It's curved.
The
He said it
people
out
in-
loud. Literally.
And then the people in the chat are dumb as fuck, man. Because they're all just fucking parroting along. Just, it's all about Bev being a flat earther. They put a fucking poll in the chat to see if, is Bev a flat earther? It's all about just making Bev a flat earther.
Well, yeah.
Even though it's
It's a hot
measurably
thing,
not
right?
flat.
Yeah. It's
Fuck.
obviously, provably not flat. Hey. Like, but
Well
they
done,
can't
Bev.
address the issue, right? There's the big glaring fucking issue there that's dead obvious to everybody else. And just this
Kept
one weird group of people that can't even address the issue.
No, they'll go for the man instead.
No, they won't even let you be your man. You have to be a fucking other man. They won't let you be who you are. It's like the weirdest
right.
perverted criminal fucking way of thinking ever. Like I'm talking to some fucking psychopath that thinks if I can't have you, no one can. What the fuck is this? These people are fucking like, I mean, to take it out of QE's basket, they need to be institutionalized. Get the fucking straitjackets out. These people are fucking retards that think that you have to be in a category. I'm sorry you live on the internet. That's not how reality works.
You just don't be a bigot. It doesn't matter what group anybody puts themselves in. It's just these people that have to put other people in different groups. That's
what
what's
is this?
wrong.
It's like reverse Is this reverse LGBT
dude,
society
don't.
where they have to pick an
Don't
organization
do
for you to be in?
that. Right?
But
certain places there's no need for us to go to.
Yeah.
That's what it is, though. They have to pick a category for you. Check the box. Which one are you? Black, white, Asian, American, other, or flat earther? Fuck, man. Disgusting.
But we don't have what, like, I kind of am in that camp because I am model afflicted in a way. You know what I mean? Like I like the conversations that we engage in, and that's what has kept me around for so long. Like, I don't mind being called a flat earther, but I know it's not flat. Like, but I get to have these conversations and figure out that there's a lot of dumb motherfuckers out there.
Do you not see what's
that I'm
going
not
on, though? Right? Because
that whole show was about putting you into the flat earth camp.
But what didn't I say? Like, people are telling me I'm off, right? It's not a globe, right? But I didn't say that.
No.
Didn't say that.
Yeah,
That was in their heads. That's
Yeah.
why they were
I've
so
seen that in the
fucking
chat.
adamant. Right? That's why they have to label me as a flat earther so viciously, is because in their heads, they know that the argument I bring says it's not a globe, but I'm not saying it. They're just hearing the argument and processing it all themselves. They're actually doing logical reasoning. We've made the argument that simple.
And it's
Right?
hard for them
They
to
can't
take
ignore
in.
it.
Yeah.
That's why that was pivotal tonight. That went out into all of their crew. They're all of the haters. Now they're all going to have to find a way to get around all horizontals being parallel. And the simplicity of it. Because that's how simple it is.
Measurably.
Yeah. It's in their heads now. I feel sorry for them. It's going to drive them mad. There's only one solution: is you've got to
late for you.
Got to drop the model. Otherwise,
yeah.
I have question because Steve kicked you when you said that you keep epoche.
Yeah.
And did he know this word before from discussion? Because I started to listen like.
I did say it once before. I don't know whether, but I presume that they've listened to what we're saying. I mean, he countered some of the things that I said to Brenda, right, about the circle and diletheism. So I think Steve
or Brenda contacted Steve. That wouldn't surprise me.
He sounded a lot like Scott Veach to me.
Because it looked like for me that he just wanted some excuse to kick you, because
Two
I
mutants.
was surprised that you said epoche and he kicked you immediately.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is non-Sequitur.
It's because he gave me 3-4 different choices, didn't he? And it just sounded so ridiculous. I couldn't answer any of them because it didn't process, right? You know, when people say a string of words that mean nothing, literally my brain doesn't process it. Blah, 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 blah. That's all I hear. So that doesn't make any sense. And he obviously isn't the type of guy that wants to go through all of the things to make it make sense, because they live in nonsense.
That's right. They're discussing a paradigm that doesn't exist. What if I walk in a straight line? Yeah, right. You can't do it for 1 mile in reality.
He said one of the options was walking into a wall. It's like, where did you get the wall from? Like, what the fuck?
They have to live in Gumby land. That's where the atheists, especially, they live in a Gumby world where it's two-dimensional and fictitious and not real. And that's the only thing they can talk about. They can't talk about reality.
Yeah, they wanted you to read Flatland.
I've seen it, but I mean, like, what you've got to take Flatland is a psychological concept, right? It's crazy when you look at it, and some people do actually think like that.
They think the Earth is 2D.
Well, no, it's their minds have gone, because to accept the globe model, inverted commas, you have to literally break your logical concepts. And they do. They reduce everything down to 2D, but they put it around a sphere. It's a broken mind, and they can't look at it. So that's why, particularly, I'd say thanks, Chaik, for bringing out, again, the T-shirt logic, all horizontals being parallel. It's a genius one, because that's what they cannot look at. Once you know that in the globe model, horizontal is at a point. There is no straight line horizontal on the globe. geometrically. They literally have to bend the horizontal whilst using a graph that has all the horizontals being parallel on it.
That was beautiful, bro.
Sorry.
No, I just want to say this. That was beautiful. When I was typing in the chat, you're gonna see this. They're gonna have to sacrifice the horizontal, and then he draws that thing, and he goes, "Oh yeah, let's zoom out." And wham, there you go. It's a circle. Yeah.
They're still asking questions from 2015 that were invented in second grade. What if I walked in a straight line? Yeah, welcome back to kindergarten. Like, you can't think past kindergarten level. That's what you do when you're a child. These are grown men, kind of, not really. That's another debate.
They do go to
they
childlike
can't even
state.
fathom.
They've done it, literally, in breaking their minds in this thing. You revert back to childhood. They are living in playground tactics now. That's what they're doing. They're getting all of their friends together. They're saying, don't talk to him. You know, all of that sort of stuff. That's what's going on.
He has
There's a globe in my classroom.
Yeah.
How about we don't live in Euclidean 3D space?
Yeah, that was a good one as well, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
That was freaking amazing, that one. Wow.
It's just
goes
so
to show where
happens
their
that
minds are.
Yeah, we've been over that recently as well, just to point that in everybody's minds that Euclidean is straight lines being straight, like you understand them, perpendicular, straight lines, X, Y, Z, as is reality, Cartesian coordinate system. There's no room for another dimension. There's only those three. That's it. It's full up. Completely taken up all of the space, 3D space, with Euclidean. You can't start bending any of them, can you?
I talked to these people 7 years ago. They've gotten dumber.
Yeah.
They've turned into complete shit stains. I remember these people from 7 years ago. You could almost have a 5-minute conversation with them. They would actually pretend they were human beings for about 3 minutes, but now they're just shit stains.
Yeah, they've got so comfortable in their little group of how righteous they all are that they've forgotten about where the foundations of all of our knowledge comes from. The understanding of logic that led to geometry, that led to mathematics. Geometry gives you the dimensions and the ratios, and pi, right? Pi is only 3.14 with that numerical number, with transcendental number, because the diameter is the 1 in relation to it. So that's your geometry giving you the numbers. The 1 is defined with the diameter, and 3.14, the known value of pi, is the resultant number that comes from that being 1. That relative thing, that's where I think relativity is, right? It's the relative distance of the diameter to the circumference, and that's how you judge everything. You do actually judge everything relative to something else. So a theory of relativity is fucking ridiculous to go to try and tell people that horizontals aren't parallel, because that's what he did. My opening argument was horizontals being parallel, and look at the lengths that they went to, and did they rebut it at all? No.
They have no choice, though. They have to act this way because not only do they not have evidence, they don't have a claim. No one's ever experienced their cartoon fantasy. No one knows where to get the information from. And God forbid they admit it. They got it from their television. They don't have a claim. So all they can do is berate you and build a straw man or a tin man and then try to destroy that, because they literally cannot tell you where they get their information from. You can stop their entire train in its tracks by going, where'd you get the information from? It's over. They don't have a claim. That's why they always have to behave like this. They just turn into shit stains.
But that's always everything. Ever since I came into this arena, that's all they've ever done. The same thing. And I don't know whether you heard that he tried to rebut horizontals being parallel by drawing parallel rays to a light. Fucking ridiculous. I mean, I don't know about that. But then he tried to go to fucking... I don't know. It sort of frustrates me, but I hope he's exposed exactly how weak their game is. That's the non-sequitur show. Like you say, they're that old, those arguments that they were... Not even arguments, are they? Like you say, it's a straw man, but it's a straw man you've seen 4 years ago. It's like the straw's rotten. Stinking. So it's like, what's that?
That's right. They can't make a claim now because we've been through these arguments so many times. They know that they don't have anywhere to go. They don't have a claim. They can't tell you where they get the information from because all you got to go is who did it, and no one's done it, especially them. They've never done anything in their life. You know, they have zero life experience. They live in a fantasy cartoon. They're evolutionists. They think they come out of the ass of an accidental fish monkey. They don't have a claim for anything, and they're stuck in this evolutionist paradigm, and the number one goal is to hide from reality. That's why they invented this refraction religion 5 years ago that never even existed until you started realizing you could see too far.
You can't see too far. You can only see as far as you can see.
Well, for them, their mindset, oh shit, you can see too far. Let me just claim refraction. That's a religion now.
That's an argument that's made up by one side to another. Until you get it made by the other side, there's no point saying it.
There's no such thing. There's absolutely no such thing. As soon as they invoke that, they're casting a spell. That's like saying abracadabra. They're wishing it away. They've admitted, they've conceded that they don't believe in reality, refraction. I don't believe that. I don't know. I refuse to accept that we can see that. Therefore, refraction. Like here in Southern Arizona, I can see 100 miles flat here. I can see 100 miles out right now.
Unicorn.
Right now, just I can walk out.
Unicorn's saying? Unicorn's saying that Reds is already saying he's going to clip out a part to make me sound like even though everybody heard it.
No, man, I already clipped it, Bev. I saved it up there. If you could say, I put it in the live chat.
No,
it was
Reds is saying...
It was like he orgasmed. No, man, you gotta listen to it. It's like he orgasmed just by thinking you said something you didn't say.
Yeah, I know. I know.
It's fucking priceless. I had to clip it.
That's all they're going to have is just a misrepresentation of what they think I actually said. They've been doing it all the time.
Yeah. Fucking hilarious.
Yeah, we're getting a warning, Exo, to calm down a bit. Like, we know about these people and we know what they're like. We've been here to expose them all. They've shown us exactly what they're like. There's no need for us to get down to their level because theirs will get much worse. I don't want us to say that.
Minority, right?
Of course they are. There's tiny amount of them. I think there's even less than you think there is of them. I think there's mainly about 20, 30 active ones throughout all of the social networks and everything.
Could be. I think that's accurate. Now, somebody's telling me to slow down. They don't realize that I get kicked off of every panel I get to. Not this one, obviously, yet.
So
I'm just saying, but everywhere else I go, when I go to Earth Awakenings, I can't talk for 30 seconds because, of course, who they allow on their panel. So if I don't speak quickly,
don't bother talking about other people, right? Yeah, just like calm down. It's
okay.
We like talking around here. Yeah. I know, but there's plenty of time. That's the one thing that we do have here.
Right, fair enough.
Lots of time. People want us to do things, but we just do it in our own time, right? I like to call it logos. Logos tells us what to do. And
Well, the word of God, I mean, I have to agree that the word of God is quick. So
when the time is right, all will be revealed.
well, not everybody's allowed to know, Bev. You know, even a lot of flat earthers can't and will not be allowed to have the information about the existence under the heavens.
We have much the same sort of thing, but within logic, which may or may not be a same thing or not. Who knows? But we are all aware of the bridge of asses, which I think is more of a psychological thing than a geometric thing.
Well, you know, like Whitsitt, I like Whitsitt. He's one of the few people that I do like in the conversation. You know, there's a lot of people I just don't get along with. But this idea that they're going to call it true Earth isn't going to help anybody because it's just Earth and that's it. And people don't realize that it's already true. You don't need to call it true Earth because it's already Earth and that's it. And it needs no other descriptions.
But then we can't call ourselves true earthers.
That might be a good thing. Yeah, the label's a problem. I know Bev already knows it. I'm sure a lot of you guys think differently, but people don't realize those labels are designed to hurt you. That's the point. 2,000 years ago, nobody was a globe earther. Nobody was a flat earther.
Nobody
no
was
such
an earther,
conversation.
right? There's
That's
no
right.
such
There's
thing to this
That's
day.
right.
There's
No
no
such thing.
such thing as an earth-er,
That's
because
right. They go,
earth is
Bev,
land.
Bev, they go, well, what are you? I go, I'm a swimmer.
I just say,
That's a side point.
I say, I'm
Or a
Bev.
mechanic
Welcome.
that's
What's your?
there,
Who are you? You don't have to
I'm
belong
just a
to
little
any
boy.
group.
I'm just a little boy. Yeah, I'm just a little boy under the heavens. I sure as hell ain't a flat earther. No.
Well, it's a really bad position. I mainly, kids, because I came from Twitter, and you know that you cannot make a mistake or anything, and subscribing to something that obviously isn't true is the first fail. You can never go into a debate scenario with a false premise, right? You can't start from a position of a paralogism. You'll fail every time, and it will be exposed every time by somebody who knows how to do it.
That's right. And you're signing away something. You're giving something away that has nothing to do with you. Like we keep looking for words. It's like, wait a minute, I don't need to be called anything. I'm just a boy, or I'm just a man, or I'm just the XO. Like, don't try to put me in some category. If I were to say Satan is real and couldn't hide something, so he tried to rearrange everything and gave everybody these two options, people don't like to hear that, obviously. But Satan gave everybody this other title that they're still using. Satan goes, okay, you're not a globe earther anymore. Here, you can be a flat earther now. How's that sound? It's not
False
politically correct.
dichotomy. This arena is false dichotomy. So
What do we it's going to be a false trichotomy because, or maybe even quadcotomy. Fuck, it gets ridiculous because we got the hollow earthers, the true earthers. We have a lot of earthers now.
Concave, or don't forget those concave
Concave earthers.
yes, but for me,
But
earther is
what's an
equivalent of
earther?
yeah. I will say because it is a replacement of word materialist. Earther would mean materialist.
That's a problem. That's what the naturalist is anyway.
Again, you're giving people labels that, I mean, do they deserve all of these different labels? You
Well,
just
that's why I
treat
said,
everybody
what's an earther?
individually, like, without
Yeah.
trying to give them anything. I think what puts a lot of people off is these idea that other people are going to go, well, you're a such and such an ist, without actually having the conversation to find out what they're like. That's what we should be after, is actually talking to people, and not appearing as though we're labeling anybody else without actually talking to them.
Fair enough.
Because the idea is to get more people to come in, and if it sounds like you're judging other people, then more people aren't likely to want to come into the conversation, are they? I mean, I can't imagine why anybody would want to go and talk to Red's Rhetoric and Steve McRae, because that was a double teaming, gaslighting motherfuckers. They're proper. They do your head in. If you weren't together, people like that had,
Yeah, they had to kick you.
yeah, but they'd influence people, wouldn't they? They'd be able to get people to come round just by the way they are.
Yeah, they had lots of yes men in the chat, and yes women, and yes whatever you want to call Brenda.
In between, yeah.
Well, they're
Got Brenda
experienced
on there now.
diabolical deceivers, to be sure. Deceivers at their finest.
And then call you a liar.
Yeah.
Deceivers and manipulators, straight out. We saw right through them. We called how this debate was going to be. We
I
predicted
predicted
two
the
versus one.
manipulation.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, we
and
called
I
it 2 versus 1.
at least I got one argument out there, right? Now, I don't even think I got to tell them that we have proof for the horizontal being a straight line through a water level. Geometric proof. Right? So the statement about horizontals is just step one. Because they're going to say now they have to come up with it's not. And then you can then go to the realizing Euclid, right? The actual test. The bit that we're more keen about. Obviously, they're never going to let us do it because they can't go into their heads. But hopefully now it'll get into their heads enough that we can get on somewhere else and actually do the realizing Euclid. The test that we have actually done. Set it up nicely for next year, right? Next summer.
Well, they couldn't take away the earth. Earth is the distraction. It was never about earth. It was about what's above and what's below.
It's about the minds of people at the minute. If you can't get to tell people a message if their minds are being fucked with. And it's just pointing out to people that in order to know anything, you need to get your own mind under control and to understand that that's what it is all about. It's about the individual, everybody.
There you go, individual. That's true. There you go. Yep.
Because it's like one of those things. If you teach people to fish, much better than giving a man a fish. Same thing with logic. And some people may never get it. But once you do get it, then you're fine on your own. With a bit of training in the trivium, like, you can be superb. Bullshit sniffers. I think there's a lot of people that do it instinctively anyway. But people like gaslight people around the fact that that occurs.
they've had their sanity removed from their senses, though. You know, this indoctrinated system that, you know, started off in the Cold War, you know, before most of us were born, you know, and even in the 50s, you know, that Sputnik fake satellite. And to this day, you'll meet people that believe in these magical satellites. They've never experienced them. They've never contacted one. They've never received a message from one. But because they watch TV, they believe in them, and that's their religion. They worship man-made satellites.
They worship the thing that tells them about it. There is a new. We found it. There is a new religion. Betty near enough said it on Blue Marble Sciences. Trying to religify through science the globe. Literally. Religifying globe science. I think that's what he was doing, because it's not normal science, natural science. This globe science has contradictory definitions, which was interesting with Stephen.
And has no
Right.
proof, and only evidence. So evidence has to be delivered by priest in preach, for example. So that's, yes, it makes it be religion or religion like. So
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah, they don't know though, right? It's they're unaware of their indoctrination, their own indoctrination, done willingly.
I think that they think mostly that this is science. They are preaching religion, but they think that this is a science.
Whatever it is that allows them to use that word, because that word to them has power. That just the word itself they worship. Like when you see in chats, I see it every day in these chats of different channels, right? You'll see somebody bring up science. We'll just stop them and go, what do you mean by that? And then watch them fall apart. It's over. All you gotta do is ask them, what science? When did you see that happen? That's it. All you gotta do is ask them one question about the word they used, and now they can no longer talk about it. That's because they were just programmed to use it.
Unicorns, well chuffed with that. Walking in a straight line. It's genius, isn't it?
These ridiculous examples, impossible. This is proof.
That's
this is
all
for
he's
them,
got.
this
That
is
and
proof.
looking at lights in the sky, drawing angles that can't be angles.
They're literally contradicting their own belief system, their own model, their own religion. They contradict in their very first question. What if I walk on a straight line? Well, I thought you believed in a globe. It's over.
They want to turn straight into a curve. They want the outside of a circle, the circumference, to be a straight line.
That's what evolution does to you. Evolution destroys your ability to think. You can't even make sense of what you're saying. Everything that comes out of your mouth is going to contradict something you just said 2 sentences ago.
It's the globe indoctrination. It's I call it model affliction, because it's the model that makes them say stupid shit. They can't stop
Right,
it.
but remember, their heart is evolution. Most of these people, their heart is evolution, that they are an animal.
I wouldn't know. I think they're drones now.
I'm just letting you know, they are evolutionists first, and they use this fake non-topic of Earth's shape to then hide their true belief system, their true intent, their true religion of evolution.
They're mindless zombies walking in a straight line.
On a ball, yeah, straight lines on a ball, yep.
No, there is no ball. They're just walking in straight lines. Imagine
until they hit a
it.
wall.
Yeah. Yeah, just walking around in aporia.
And then they turn around and go sit at their computer again. Yeah.
Over and over and over.
Do you know anybody that's even tried to measure the Earth curvature? Oh, I love their face when I ask them that. Know anybody who's ever tried? Just say that they get pissed every time. Who's tried to measure this Earth curvature that you believe in? I'll wait.
They do have people, but they don't say it to us. They might.
They can't. I'm telling you, they won't be able to name it. They'll go, okay, that's a great. Joe Schweiger did it. Great. Can you show me that? No, he'll show you a view over a lake. We're looking over a flat surface or a stationary level surface, whatever they're going to call it, and they're just going to look out in a straight horizontal line and say, "Oh, I'm trying to measure Earth curvature." Well, good luck with that.
Yeah, they do. We went over one earlier this week.
Yep. Then they'll zoom in on the water, and the zoom will cause lens compression, just like the famous Soundly gaff. And the zoom causes lens compression, and then they show you the final product after they're zoomed in all the way. Oh, there's a bulge. Oh, I didn't know the ball bulges first, then goes down. That's not what your model says. That was easy.
No, they just try to violate geometric concepts.
Oh, they turn into nut jobs. They just get completely psychotic right away. And then all you gotta do is can you zoom back out so I can see what it looks like without the zoom compression? No, and they will never show you what it's like when they zoom back in.
I don't think they do get cameras out. I don't think they ever do that.
Soundly would be an example. Soundly will show you the bridge compressed. Notice the flat water. The bridge will be compressed, but he'll never show you zooming back in. Yeah, he'll never zoom back in to show the compression leaving, which is of course just very basic. No, he's a psychopath.
He knows that he would get he'd hit aporia again. I think that I'm gonna have to be the guy that nobody wants to talk to. It's nice. Paige's got some as well. It's good, isn't it? Because all of this stuff that we've been going over with the geometric concepts and everything, it's very simple, but it's laid down the foundations of us and our understanding. And you can hear them say stuff that's just fucking ridiculous.
Pure insanity.
You know it's madness for them to say it. Yeah, Red's rhetoric has no rhetoric. That was the worst case I've ever seen. He can't verbalize anything. Red's rhetoric has no rhetoric. And Steve McRae thinks he's a maths genius. I think Steve McRae might have been one of the trolls that I've been talking to for quite a while.
Yeah, he still has. Yeah, his name was Steve McCray back in the day.
Yeah.
He hasn't changed.
Gray's analyst. They used to imagine that they're good at mathematics. And Steve's obviously told everybody he's a brilliant mathematician, but he's talking shit.
That's right. That's the evolutionism, the self-worship. I am the highest evolved. Look what I can do. I can talk about numbers. I'm very special, and I'll do it in public and get paid $3 an hour.
Did he get many super chats? Did they? Or were they a bit stingy?
I didn't see any. Maybe someone else will know.
I was looking on Beth's channel, so I
Yeah.
didn't see on there.
They actually said we don't live in Euclidean 3 space. They did actually say that.
That was the best line of all, I think. And the circle thing, That one, I was waiting for it.
What about all
When he made
horizontals
the
being
line.
parallel and the elevation
Yeah.
profiles all showing horizontals to be parallel?
Yeah. It was a complete train wreck on their side. Complete.
That's good though that you got kicked off that early. That shows desperation. They couldn't even let you be your own person. So yeah, just water off a duck's back. I think Peacock's mad at me though, Bev. Is my time running out?
Yeah, we are live, aren't we? I think it's about time because I'm gonna have to go and get my lad tomorrow. So I will.
Well, I want Peacock
shut it
to know.
down.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go on. Tell Peacock and then
I just want. I know that I'm hard to get along with. SC Montreal is known for me for 7 years. He doesn't necessarily agree with me or like me. It's okay not to like me. All right. So SC Montreal is proof of that. But I've been here a very long time, Mr. Peacock, and I know that you might say those things about me. I'm not going to mention them. That's okay. I know Paige has known me for a while. But my channel's been around for about 12 years, and my newer channel is Blood Always Finds Its Level, which if you look up in chat, you'll see it, and that's where I have my evidence. But I'm just a little boy under the heavens. Again, I'm not anybody special, but I've been here a very long time. You just don't know me. Sorry. Thanks.
Hold on. I never said I didn't like you. Just for the record.
Amen. SC Montreal does not like me. Thank you.
It means that he liked you once.
Yeah.
Well, Montreal knows that I do irritate easily. I do have a voice for television. I can't get. I'm not going to mention another channel, SC Montreal, but you and I have been. You've seen me there a couple days ago and yesterday. I got to be honest with you. The people over there that are called the F ears, they don't know what the hell they're talking about, and it's extremely frustrating. Because Geo is the only guy, I think, and maybe Witsit, that even understands this Star Trail conundrum. And it's something that we've been trying to talk about for about 6-7 years, and nobody even understands the argument. And it's so simple. It's so simple. Hopefully, maybe one day we'll talk about it with Bev and straighten it out.
SE's
Yeah,
just with
maybe we will.
stars. You have to get Turn Up involved in it as well because he's into that stuff.
Bev, Bev, it's a big deal. And 3 days ago, listen, again, I'll show you photos. I built a Stargate 5 years ago, which helped me figure this out. But I realized once I figured it out that most people weren't going to get it. I had not heard anybody talk about it until 3 days ago. I heard Geo, which I'm sure most people know who that is. Geo actually mentioned it. You know what I'm talking about?
Can we go over this after I've finished and rounded up this thing?
You're right.
With,
I'll save it for later. I'll put it in my back pocket. Go ahead.
Okay,
no
so it is the end of the week. That was not a debate with Rhetoric, just to basically show everybody how people get triggered by a simple argument from reality. Simple logic. And that was the end of it. Just keep to reality. Anybody wants to know any more, you're free to come into the Discord server on the level. Thanks for watching. Spread it about. Let everybody know. This is the place if you want to have proper arguments and discussions surrounding them. And remember, the Earth is not flat. See you later. Maybe over the weekend.